All right, welcome back to another episode of the Carter Cast. I'm your host, Carter Bond. On today's show, it's me, it's Brian, it's Grant. We have a fantastic show for you. It's a very, very long one. It's our NFL preview show. We go through every single team and every single division and talk about whether their win total goes over, under, whether we like the team, whether they go to the playoffs. Then we also do like MVP odds, teams that have the worst record. And then we close with week one lines. We have timestamps below if you want to go hear certain divisions, week one lines. You can just skip ahead and go to those. It's an awesome episode, and I want to thank them again. It was a marathon podcast, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show. All right, let's do it. NFL preview. We're going to steamroll through these divisions. Let's start. Let's just get right into it. NFC East. The Eagles and Cowboys are tied to win the division at plus 150. Let's start off with the Eagles. Plus 150 to win the division, over under 9.5. The over's minus 150, and the under's plus 123. All these odds are courtesy of Barstool Sports on my end.
Okay, so for me, I think the Eagles are going to win. I think they're going to win the division. I think they win the NFC East. So I'm going to go over. Everyone talks about how much they love the roster. I also personally like the guys that I know on the team. I like the roster. So I'm going to say over, but it's not by much. Like it's it's the NFL. So I'm gonna say over.
Yeah, you have anything on this?
No, I'm with you, Brian. Like that was like one of the sneaky picks a lot of people are on board with, and I just don't see that division really making a pushback on it. Like there's nobody in there that really like I love, and so it's almost like you kind of err on the side of the Eagles. So I'm with you, man. Like I think I would take the Eagles, and same thing, I take the over 100%.
Brian, you know this more than anyone. I hate the NFC East more than any other division. It's such a crapshoot. I wouldn't take it. Like, I will not bet anything ever in my life in the NFC East. I'll never touch anything in the NFC East. If two NFC East teams are playing against each other, I will not take that game, no matter what. I would probably lean over, but I'm not a Jalen Hurts guy. I'm not. I'll just say it.
I think he's the only hesitation, like besides like Sirianni, because I don't know if
okay. What if Gardner Minshew comes in? Do you feel a little more comfortable?
No, if Gardner Minshew,
I don't know, man. Gardner Minshew's the best backup in football.
Yeah, for sure. He's an electric back. He's like, I love Gardner Minshew because he's the type of guy. Like I feel like he wouldn't like try to hook up with your chick. You know what I mean? Like he's loyal. You know what I mean? Like if he saw something happening, I feel like he's the type of guy that, no matter what, believes that he can take that job and become QB1. Like that's the kind of guy that you want to be your backup quarterback. Like I just don't think. I think he's limited. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He don't have the greatest arm. He's just competitive. I think he gets naked too much. I've heard that he likes to get naked. So like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Stock's rising for me now.
Yeah.
Before we keep rolling through these divisions, I'm glad to have Gambling Brian back. We can talk now.
Yeah,
you're free.
Man, I'm out. I'm out of the prison.
This is a safe space now, Brian. This is a safe space out here.
You can open up here.
Yeah,
we're here for you.
Look, when I think of Gardner Minshew, I think of someone that can easily take care of the Jets. He can take care of the Jets. Okay, so like, he's serviceable.
Whoa! Why are we slandering our Jets?
I love the Jets. I love the Jets, but I'm just saying he can take care of the Jets.
Let's Cowboys plus 150, same odds. Over under's 10. I like the under. I think it's gonna push. It's 9 or 10.
I think they're going under.
Man, y'all are both under, huh?
I think the Cowboys are their offensive line needs work. They didn't really help that out. Tyron Smith is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
A lot is on Dak's shoulder. Is CeeDee Lamb got that dog in him? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I know Micah Parsons is great. I know there's like a bunch of guys there's some guys on that defense are great, but is Diggs even that great? Like he got a lot of interceptions. He's the real deal for sure, but he gets beat a ton. So it's like, I don't know. It feels like it could be one of those classic NFL situations where somebody's good. It's like Cowboys. 1 year they're good, the next 3 years they're whatever, and then in another year they're good and they make a run and lose out in the first round of the playoffs.
The only thing I need to see whether I go over or under is Zeke's playing weight at. That's basically it. If Zeke is like if Zeke is healthy, like I go over. If Zeke is like, not playing at a good weight, I go under. Like that team goes as he goes. Like you said, Brian, like Dak's got way too much on him. And if Zeke doesn't like allow them to open everything else up, they're gonna have issues. And like I said, I know they have multiple running backs, but honestly, that for me is like what I'd have to see. But as with you guys, I lean under as well.
Quick question. So I don't know if this happens for you guys, but as many times as I've heard Dak Prescott, it's the weirdest thing. Do you guys remember when he was at Mississippi State and he got his ass beat in that video?
The video? No, I don't think so.
The video where Dak Prescott fights like 4 dudes all at once, like he's just drunk off his ass. He's just like, it's like spring break. He's super drunk. One dude, like he fights like 3 dudes, and then one dude like hits him clean, and he goes out. And it's I don't know why.
I'm looking it up right now.
Dak Prescott. Like
how have I never seen this?
Dude, it's a crazy video. And like he it's like a flash KO. He gets hit pretty hard. Like it's, low key, it's pretty funny.
Oh, here it is. Let's see this. Hold up.
Low key, right? Like there's like 3 dudes that are trying to fight him.
Is this how you see the division playing out, Brian? Is this why you bring this up?
Yeah, that's if you could create a meme, it would be like Dak Prescott, and it would be like the Commanders.
Yikes,
Cowboys,
dude.
the Commanders.
The fucking who else in that division? The Giants and whatever, the Eagles.
Yeah, you got the Giants, the Commanders, the Eagles, and the Cowboys, man. Woof.
It's a horrible division. It's so gross. NFC East football is so gross.
It's so
and they
bad.
always have the primetime slots.
Always, because there's too many people in Philadelphia who watch. That's the problem. There's not enough people out here like when I was working at the NFL Network, that's why we talk so much Dallas Cowboys and NFC East, because like the ratings tell you like there's assholes out there, watching in a basement fucking more than the people out here. So why people weren't at the UCLA game. We're in a heat wave right now.
UCLA with the 27,000 attendance. Unbelievable. What a turnout.
It was so bad.
It was tough stretch. It was a tough moment for us. Tough on Twitter. When I wanted to chirp back and be like, hey, bro, you know how fucking hot it is in Pasadena with 105 degrees and there's no shade? And then somebody like responded right before I was about to say something. I don't want to hear about the heat because we live in the South and it's packed every week. And I was like,
Brad, you're like, delete.
Like, that's fair, but you don't have the beach. You don't have Santa Monica.
Yeah, they just got their cousin. We got the cousins out here. They don't have the beef, so
I walk around. It's a runway out here.
All right. Well, speaking of great places, the Washington Commanders plus 500 to win the division, over under 7.5. For some reason, the over is minus 134. This team sucks. Ron Rivera is probably the favorite to be first coach fired, right?
Riverboat Ron? We're throwing shade on Riverboat Ron?
Probably.
I mean, what is this team?
So
it's another team convincing themselves into Carson Wentz. Like, why?
So I looked at all these futures and like specifically the win totals. I wouldn't take any of these. Like they're so horrible. Like -1. You want me to bet minus 134 on a future? Like that
on an over on the Washington Commanders. If you are that person putting heavy money on the over on the Washington Commanders, you need to reevaluate what you're doing with your life. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
that's just
rough. It's just Daniel Snyder who's doing that. If there's somebody, there's nobody else doing that. Like that's who would take that bet? Like it's so ass. Like there's no way that they covered to begin with. Like so, it's like what's the point? You're not giving me enough odds to want to take that bet at all. No. And I think they're gonna like Carson Wentz is fucking horrible. Low key, I've heard some things about Carson Wentz. Like he's just too different, man. He's too different. Listen, locker rooms, hey man, you can't not be liking hip hop that much. You know what I mean? Like he does not like hip hop. That's all.
Have you all seen the in-season Hard Knocks on HBO? Where I
didn't watch it.
I've been watching it late. I've been watching it lately, and what you're saying, Brian, about Carson Wentz, it's like he's so different than everybody else. It's a very stark contrast. Like,
okay, so is it like Andrew Luck different? Because like Andrew Luck was way different, but he still got along with everyone.
Andrew Luck commanded respect, and I don't think it's different in the way that like you're thinking. He's just different in the sense of like
I hear what
the
you're
stuff,
saying, but
yeah, the stuff he thinks about and talks about and kind of it's just very different, like than what the league, I think the norm is, right? And
Yeah.
I don't think people view him as a dude. Like I don't think they view him as like if you're a quarterback, you got to be a dude, man. Like if you're gonna make noise in the league, you got to be that guy. I don't think he screams that in any way, shape, or form. He looks like a dope guy, like what we're talking about earlier. Like accountant would be great. Like he'd be an amazing accountant. You know what I'm saying?
He's just bottom line. This could be a graphic. He's just too faithful to his wife. You know what I mean? Like he's just the type of guy that would just be. He's too faithful. That's the issue. If you catch what he's not cheating. You know what I mean? You can't trust another athlete. Can't trust another athlete who doesn't cheat on his spouse. I just think that's part of it. Am I wrong?
Look, all I'm gonna say is all the boys in the HBO Hard Knocks were getting barbecue at one of the defensive linemen's house. He was not there. That's all I can say, man. If you're not eating barbecue with the boys, what are you doing? You need
what's that movie, Draft Day, when nobody showed up to the quarterback's birthday and they didn't draft him because of that?
Ooh. I love those things. I love Draft Day. Low-key, it's such a great movie.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're taking anything with the Commanders besides the under, something's wrong with you. I mean, Giants plus 750 to win the division. If you're taking that, you're drunk unless you love Daniel Jones. Over under 7.5 wins. The overs plus 123. The unders minus 150. I mean, insane juice for that, but I still like the under. I think I would take that juice.
For which one?
The Giants. Also, I know it's our second year of having the 17-game schedule. It still messes with my head.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You know what? It does still mess with my head, but I'm locked and loaded at 17. Like if you want to add 18,
I like it. Well, I know I like it. It's just whenever I see like the win totals, it still messes with me. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, 11-6 used to be 11-5. 11-6 looks really gross. Like 11-6 are two numbers that shouldn't go together. I agree with that.
How much stock are we buying into Saquon this year? I guess that's the better question.
None.
0.
How could you?
You're not buying any stock.
Did you see how much of a gambler he is?
Oh yeah, he had money on Serena. If you see the clip from the U.S. Open, he's sitting there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He's sitting there. He's got the leg shake going on. Like this money line better hit.
Yeah, I bet my bonus on this. Come on, you know what I mean? He's into it.
Oh man, isn't he the one that put a bunch of his bonus into a Bitcoin as well and lost like a ton of money in Bitcoin?
I don't think he did.
I think he's one of them. That sounds familiar. It's also
that's a Russell Okung thing, right?
I think Lawrence did it too. I think a bunch of players have done it. But I'm telling you, I think Saquon put a bunch of his signing bonus back in the day into Bitcoin when it was like at 30 or 40 or something like that. I can't remember, but
yeah, when it was at like 34, whatever it was, like at 50 something or whatever.
Like that. Yeah, exactly. When it's pretty high, not now. I mean, I don't know, man. Daniel Jones, like, how many proof years can you have until it's like, yeah, bro, you ain't proving it. I don't know. Like you said, I don't know how you bet on these teams, like the Commanders and the Giants. How can you bet on these overs until you really like believe in the vision and what these teams are doing? I just don't. I don't understand how that happens. But obviously, there's people out there that are hammering this.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing too is they're paying Kenny Golladay so much money, and he's so bad. The second he signed that contract, he was done.
Have you seen any of his reps in practice? He's so fucking over it. Like there's like a rep like Wandale Robinson who's like out there proving himself. He went to Kentucky. He's 5'8". He works so fucking hard.
That dude is nasty.
He's nasty, bro. If he was 6'4", he wouldn't be at Kentucky, but it would have been in Alabama. But he's 5'8". So like you see how hard he works in reps, and then like it's Kenny Golladay who's like doing it like I did it in high school. You know what I mean? Like he's picking up the team. Like I'm not playing. You know what I mean? Just whatever. Like
just straight up Kelvin Benjamin out here.
Yeah, he like, and it's different like with Kadarius Toney because like I know like Kadarius Toney is like apathetic as well, but at least like he can juke you out of your shoes at an elite level. He knows it, and he's like, I don't give a shit. Don't get done with it.
All right, that'll do it for the NFC East. No more talk about the NFC East. Let's do NFC West. Let's start off with the Rams. Rams are the favorite to win this division, plus 125. Over-under is 10.5 wins. Overs minus 103, unders minus 118. Super Bowl hangover is the biggest fear with this team, obviously. And what the hell's going on with Stafford's elbow?
So
is there any? Yeah, do you know, Brian? No, you go ahead.
I mean, what I know is that he says that there's no limitations. Like I've seen some of the stuff he's doing in practice. Like it all, if he's hurt and he can't throw at the clip that they need, that they're not going anywhere. So it's like at the end of the day, I guess it's up to. I don't think the Super Bowl hangover is the thing for them because they're all like old. You know, like Aaron Donald.
But the counter argument to that is they're old and they just won it. Like, what more do they have to play for?
And my counter to that counter would be
I like that.
Okay. The double counter. The double counter. Aaron Donald's an all-time great. Matt Stafford is a Hall of Famer. Jay is an all-time great, probably already. Shout out to Shanahan who saw that. Really, Shanahan did that. But like, besides the point. Like, it's like these guys, like Allen Robinson is still hungry. Cooper Kupp, like, you know, he's probably like all things like he's a 3rd round pick and he's this good still. Like, he's probably going to be a Hall of Famer. So I just think, Jalen Ramsey's already an all-time great. Like, I think like these guys are like, they got a team that's, you know, that I hate this phrase. I fucking despise this phrase, but they're built different. They're guys that like aren't just out there like, getting complacent. So I think that they have the goods to win the division.
I kind of love that take, bro. I'm with you, Brian. Like, they're dudes that have been paid, so the money's not the issue, but they're also like they got something to prove still. And like you said, Carter, I understand the whole Super Bowl hangover thing, but I'm kind of with you, man. Like, they got some dogs on that team, dude. Like, everyone's just a dude, and like Donald's still swinging helmets at people at a high rate. Like, I don't know if I can bet against that, man. He's willing to swing the helmets in practice. Like, that dude's got dog in him for sure if he's going that hard in practice. So I'm with you, man. If I'm gonna bet something on this, I'm for sure betting the over.
Yeah,
I like him.
I think 10-11 is probably around the right number. I wonder do you know what the Rams are to be first place in the NFC? I did take a team to be the
play.
I took a team to be first in the NFC, but it's not the Rams.
It is plus 125
to be the first in the conference
to win the division.
What about to be first place in the NFC?
Oh, to win the NFC, they're third. They're 500.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, no, that's not a
the NFC stinks.
Oh, I mean, the Cowboys and the Eagles are both 1,000. They're both 10-1. Who the fuck's taking the Cowboys at that?
That's what I'm saying, man. Who's taking this money? That's like literally burn that money.
The Cowboys are like Duke. They can just put whatever odds out there, and people are going to bet it no matter what.
Yeah, it's true. That's a good point. Like, they always have that hope. They're always going to have that hope.
Like, Duke is going to be like the 3rd favorite this year in the NCAA tournament and March Madness at like 1,400.
Just crazy.
And that Duke is probably like the 8th best team in the country. But anyhow, besides the point. So I think we're all leaning Rams over. I think I got convinced on that one. All right. We know what time it is. It's the Niners.
Let's go.
Niners. I'll start this one off real quick, and then Brian, I'll let you lose. 49ers plus 155 to win the division. Already took it. Over under 10 wins. Already have the over. Minus 110 on each side. I think at worst you push. And then I also took them 7-1 to be the number 1 seed in the NFC.
That's part of that. Okay.
And before we even get on that, I'm not even the biggest Trey Lance guy, but anything is an improvement from Jimmy Garoppolo. The floor is so low, it can only go up.
Yes. Am I unleashed?
Yeah, I'll go.
All right. So, one, the fact that I they're just using this kid to make content out of, like, the whole media. Like, Albert Breer had to go on Twitter and be like, yeah, I was kind of just making shit up at a certain point. Like, I was just, pretending that, or I was just like, I'm using my imagination that he would be annoyed. So then I said that, and he had to, walk that back a little bit. Like, it's like only the media. If you're listening to this and you're like, I don't know about Trey Lance, like, the only issue with Trey Lance is his reps. So it's going to be an inconsistency. Like, he's going to throw touchdowns, but he's also going to throw picks. He's going to throw balls that are too low. But Jimmy Garoppolo threw balls that are too low. There's not going to be that much of of a difference in terms of like what the team success holds, because it's based on the defense and the whole team. There's this idea that Jimmy Garoppolo did all the shit. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't do. You know how many times Jimmy Garoppolo has left Brandon Ayuk on an island alone because he doesn't have the arm to get it there? Like, that's the issue. The difference with Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo is Trey Lance is going to extend, and we're going to get a lot of chunky plays. So there's going to be a lot of plays there are a lot of drives that are going to be left, but Jimmy Garoppolo left a lot of these drives. So it's like it's going to be a run, play action heavy team that like takes advantage of Lance's arm, and he's going to fucking, he's going to send it. And I think this team is going to score a lot of points. So that's why I like them for overs. Until until it recalibrates or whatever. But like, when we talk about lines later, one of my bets is like the over on that game. Like it's over 41. Like, I think like this team has a lot of potential, and it's still a team that's dependent on, it's the whole team. It's not Trey Lance's team, even though he's the quarterback. It's like fucking Nick Bosa's team over Trey Lance right now.
Grant, what do you have on the Niners?
This is why I came on the podcast. I had to hear this from Brian myself, dude. I had to hear this. Like, I love it because I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen the friction, right? I guess we haven't started a fire yet, but there's definitely been friction on Twitter between you and some of the pundits out there that have kind of mentioned about Trey Lance. And I'm with you, man. Like, these young quarterbacks, like, bro, people expect, like, when they throw a pick, like what you mentioned, or they don't finish a drive, they're like, oh, well, Jimmy G might have been able to finish it. It's like, bro, what are we talking about here? We're talking about not finishing a drive, and like that's an indictment on this kid not being ready. Like you said, reps are the biggest thing this kid needs, and it's gonna be a rocky road. Like you said, there's gonna be flashes of greatness. There's gonna be flashes of like, what the hell are we watching out here? Like, what is he saying? But that's normal, dude. That's a normal progression of what we should see from young quarterbacks. And like, I feel like every person now on Twitter is the greatest quarterback whisperer of all time. Like, everybody knows what these quarterbacks do or don't need. It drives me nuts. I'm like, dude, I promise you this kid has the talent to do it. You just got to give him on the stage to like learn he's got to take his lumps. And like, there's going to be games where we're like, bro, we might've like, quote unquote, been off better with Jimmy G, but for the long haul, you have to take your lumps right now. You got to do it. You got to do it. And so like, it's frustrating because people are just like, dude, like you said, you have a whole team around this kid. It's not like you're throwing him in the fire, kind of like what Justin Fields, I think, is feeling like in Chicago. It's completely different. You have an actual championship roster around this guy. You got to put him in now. Otherwise, it's like, why do you even have this asset there? So it's frustrating to see that like people are just like, you know what I'm saying? Like the takes that they have on these quarterbacks is so bad. They're just like, oh, he threw a pick. Like, this kid's garbage. And I'm like, let the kid develop. Like, he's got to see reps. He's got to see live speed out here. So I'm with you, man. I'm really excited to see what that looks like. And for good or for bad in some of these games, it's going to be a bumpy ride. But I'm excited, man. I had to hear it.
I just want to say one more thing as well. I agree. Yeah. One more thing is this dude has started 3 games since 2020.
Yep.
And this dude, 2 of those were in the NFL. One of them he won against a team that was like ranked 15th in DVOA. You know what I mean? A team they weren't the worst defense in the world. So this kid he was 21. He started 3 games in 2 years, and 2 of them in the NFL, and he didn't look completely lost. He didn't even look like as bad as Trevor Lawrence did in some of these games, who was the best pick, who was the number 1 pick. He started 3 games. Imagine if you threw anyone like 3 games in since 2020. Like, it's crazy that people are like, I don't know about. Well, yeah, sure. Like, no one can know. No one can know. He's got the traits. But 3 games in 3 years, and 2 of them in the NFL, and he could have won both of them. Can't be that fucking bad.
But Brian, there's one random guy on Twitter saw him throw this one pass over here. He's obviously not like, come on, man. What are we doing here? It just kills me. It's like, he's got to get the reps. He's got to get the live bullets. Otherwise, we won't know. So at least use your asset while you have him, like while he's cheap. So it's crazy to me, man. Like, the people, I do like what they're doing over there. Like, letting him develop, kind of letting him get in there. Like, I do feel like these kids are throwing him way too quick. Like, but now, like, he's got to go out there. Like, at this point, he's got to go out there. Like, it'll be fun to see, but I had to hear it from you, Brian. I love it.
Grant, you mentioned like Trey Lance threw one bad throw and the one guy on Twitter is freaking out kind of thing. But I'm that idiot that sees Matt Corral throw a 60-yard bomb in training camp. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy, he's next Drew Brees. He's going to be better than Drew Brees. He's Drew Brees.
It goes both ways.
Exactly. I'll talk myself into the most ridiculous takes from it. I love the Niners everything this year, though. Niners, I love everything this year. They can't be worse. So why not? Why would you not? I don't see how they are all of a sudden because what were they last year? What was their record, Brian?
Oh, 9 and this is
was it 9-8 or 10-7?
10-7.
And they're saying they're going to be the exact same this year. I think they're one win better.
They are. I think so too. Just on talent alone, like that. To your point, Carter. Just like on talent alone, Trey Lance is going to be able to do what Jimmy Garoppolo did on just sheer fucking talent alone. So like you're good. Take the over. Like take all the overs. Like you're good.
Seahawks plus 2,000 over under 5.5 wins. The overs minus 134, kind of like the Commanders thing, and the unders plus 110. I if you're betting the over, why?
It's Geno Smith, yeah? We got Geno Smith?
Yep. Geno, Drew Lock, QB competition all year.
I think it's Geno Smith's job though, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Probably.
Okay. Yeah, I think they came out with Geno Smith being the QB. I'll take this one. I'll start us off with the Seahawks special.
Yeah, everybody wanted it. Go ahead, Grant. Everybody wants to go, but you go first.
Yeah, everyone wants to know about the Seahawks right now. No, I mean, this is a team that's obviously going to be tanking for a quarterback. Like, I don't think there's like anything that we're really seeing here that we don't already know. Like, we already know the outlook of this team. We see where they're pretty much drafting next year, give or take. I mean, like that's what the outlook of this team looks like. It's trying to get a new quarterback for their future rebuild. Because at this point, it's a rebuild. Like there's no other way to put it. DK Metcalf is like your only respectable piece that you really have like on board, I guess, other than like Jamal Adams, who's at what point like in his like lower end of his career. Like it's at the point now where it's just like it's not looking good. They swung big, kind of like what the Rams did, but didn't hit, and that sucks because you went all in and you didn't hit. It would have been like what the Rams had done if they got rid of all their picks and they didn't win a Super Bowl. It would have been rough. So that's kind of what we're looking at with the Seahawks.
You going over or under 5.5 wins?
If I over 5.5 wins, oh man,
that's not a lot.
No, I think that's why the unders plus money, right? And the
unders plus money.
Yeah, unders plus money. Oh man, give me. I don't know, boys. I'm gonna have to hear y'all's take on it. I honestly don't know on this one. Obviously, it's nothing I'd actually take in real life, but
I wanted to say this. If you force me to take something, like depending on, like I'd want to know who's in charge of, because to Grant's point, like they should try, but which if they do end up tanking, I'm gonna be fucking miserable because I'm that fan who's like, oh, they're gonna end up with Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. And if CJ Stroud or Bryce Young are in a Seattle Seahawks uniform, that will crush me, because that means that the moment we got like potentially a dude, like a dog, like Trey Lance is a dog. He slid in Liv Coward's DMs. This guy's a dog. Like the moment we got him, Seattle gets fucking CJ Stroud, who spent fucking $500,000 on suits for everybody. That's a guy you run through a brick wall for. I'm in shambles if Seattle ends up with CJ Stroud. I'm in fucking shambles. So, I think with Pete Carroll and this team and like Geno Smith, like they're still playing for jobs. I don't know. I think it's tough. I think they want them to go. They get the first pick, but I don't think that's Pete Carroll's MO. So I think over. If you're gonna pick one, you got to go over, because they also have the Niners number.
I feel like that Monday night game against the Broncos is going to be like everyone's going to be hammering the Broncos. They got destroyed on Sunday because there's a lot of home dogs I like. I mean, there's a lot of home dogs this Sunday, but everyone's going to get destroyed on Sunday, and they're like, oh, Broncos, don't even think about it. Broncos are going to dominate. And then it's just going to be that weird game. It's going to be like 20-17. And like the Seahawks are in it in the last drive for no reason at all.
That's Geno Smith, though. That's Geno Smith. Like, honestly, I don't hate Geno Smith at all. Like, like he's obviously had a long path in the NFL, but I'm telling you, man, that's Geno Smith. He'll keep games close. He has that experience for sure.
Are you a Geno Smith guy or a Teddy Bridgewater guy?
I'm a neither guy, but if I had to lean, I'm a neither guy. Are you kidding me? But I do kind of like Geno Smith. Like, I forget what bet I had. I had the Rams, I think, I want to say, against the Seahawks last year, and he came back like when Russell Wilson went down and almost won in that game. straight up again. And I was like, what is happening, bro? I'm like watching this like free money, play like almost take us like, oh, Russell Wilson's down. He balled out, man. Like I said, he's playing, like you said, Brian, for a job, obviously longevity in his career. I hear it's like nobody's tanking, but I mean, I really feel like these teams are for sure eyeing those two quarterbacks, like you mentioned, Brian, like CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. Like these guys want it. It's like a sweepstakes right now. So, yeah, I guess if you're gonna have to play, when you have to go lean the over, but yeah, I don't hate Geno Smith.
I have a question. Before you, well, actually, Carter, I don't think you give me. So I'll ask it after because it's not even.
I was gonna say real quick. I'll just go over, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
They scream 6-11. Like if you see Seahawks and then 6-11 right next to it, tell me you don't see that.
That feels right.
But anyhow, what were you gonna say?
Right. I wonder. So I've just been thinking about this. I wonder what's going on with the Lions, because I think the Lions are just a few pieces away.
We'll get to the Lions.
Ooh, man.
Real quick, let's finish the NFC West and then we'll get into the NFC North. Cardinals plus 400 to win the division. Over unders 8.5, minus 110 for both those. I love the under. They scream 8-8. 8-8. 8-8. Cliff Kingsbury 8-8. Kyler Murray will not play a full season. 0% chance he plays a full season. I think it's dumpster fire potential in Arizona.
I agree. I think I agree. It's 8-9 now.
8-9.
8-9. No, it's okay.
That got me. 8-1. 8-1.
The NFL is asking too much. Yeah, maybe 8-1. We're not mathematicians. But the only thing I think is like it's like a trend, right? It's like at this point, like it's a trend. Cliff Kingsbury, there's not a great relationship there. Like there is just not. Cliff Kingsbury wanted him to call plays to prove that this shit's not easy, which tells us that like at certain points, Kyler Murray's like, why are we running that play? That play sucks. And Cliff Kingsbury is getting offended that play sucks or getting frustrated. Like this is not, and then what? There's no DeAndre Hopkins all year, right?
6 games.
6 games.
6 games. Yep.
No D-Hop. And then you added Marquise Brown. Like that's a fucking thing. Like they added Marquise Brown to make Kyler Murray happy. Like this is such a catastrophe. Like I love it. I would go under, and it's. I mean, again, if you're gonna take a future like this on the Arizona Cardinals, like at minus 110, like I guess, but like I don't like it. But yeah, under.
No, I wouldn't actually place real money on it, but the only thing I'll place in real money on so far that we've talked about is the Niners 7-1 to be the number one team, and I have plus 155 to win the division. I don't even take the 10 wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think I might.
The only thing I can possibly say about the Arizona Cardinals is I don't understand this team. Like I do not understand how this team is like one of the hottest to one of the worst teams in the same season. I don't get it. Like I don't understand their makeup, and maybe it's the dysfunction. It's like built upon like complete dysfunction. So like at a they can perform at a high level, but you can also perform at the adverse, which is like awful, and we've seen it. Like in Kyler Murray's one hit away from literally their season being over. Like they're just such a weird makeup to me. I just don't understand this team. So obviously no world would I ever bet this over under, but I'm with you guys. Like I also lean the under. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then last thing on the Cardinals, man, you mentioned like how they get hot and stuff. Kyler Murray just gets banged up as the year goes on. Yep. And that's what I think eventually catches up with him every single time.
It's like once that elite escapability, like that elite athleticism is taken from him just because of like
it slowly deteriorates as the season goes on.
And like it's not on him, bro. Like the amount of hits like you take if you run the ball and like the amount of like cutting and all that's like he is so freakishly. It's all these freakishly like McCaffrey, all these guys like that are just freakishly athletics for their body. Like they always have these weird like soft tissue issues and like just weird stuff that goes on. And then once you lose that like small edge, obviously he's not physically imposing, right? And so like you lose that massive edge that you had over people, and you're just like another quarterback that's 5'10", 5'11", whatever he is.
If that,
like, yeah, like so like that's the problem with them. And so I think you're right. It happens every year. Like explode out the gate, and then just a massive dumpster fire. It's weird, man. It's honestly so confusing to me.
All right, NFC North. Let's start out with the Packers, minus 182 to win the division. Over under is 11 wins on the dot. Over is minus 118. The under is -104. I would, at real money, I would not get anywhere near this right here. I would not touch anything near the Packers. I don't know what we're going to see from them. That receiving core might be the worst in football. I mean, Alan Lazard is the number one.
It's not great.
I mean, who's Rodgers going to throw to other than Aaron Jones checkdowns?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Like, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm hearing good things about Romeo Doubs. I haven't heard anything about Christian Watson, and he was supposed to be a dude that was supposed to like.
And apparently Rodgers was like, yeah, he needs to like step it up. This dude sucks.
Yeah, which is
that's the SDSU guy, right?
NDSU. Yeah.
Oh, NDSU. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. So I mean, they've gone over every single year. Here's the thing, though. I think each team, maybe besides the Bears, has gotten better, but even then, like the Bears can still kind of like, if Justin Fields is that dude, maybe take it to him. Like the issue is like it's -118. Like I'm not gonna. I guess I'm beating a dead horse now by just complaining about the juice on both these, but like a -104, and you want me to like at least make me want to bet this, but I think they've gone over. Every year they've gone over 11 wins. I think that year it ends, and I think it's favored for a reason. Like I think people think that. I think people think that's going to end. Like people are with the Hard Knocks effect, and Man Campbell, and Justin Fields, and people people love Minnesota. So I don't know. I think it goes under though.
Grant,
it's a hard one, bro. You're betting against arguably the best quarterback in the NFL, obviously, right? That's just not a bet. Again, these are all bets that I would never take in real life. But if I had to lean, I'm going to go over. I'm going to go a little contrary on this one. The only reason why is because that man will make it work, whether on opium or whatever the hell he's on, DMT, whatever he's on, throwing the ball.
Did you listen to the Rogan podcast?
Yeah.
I listened to the whole thing, and it was kind of the same thing for 3 hours.
But is that not surprising? Haven't we seen him like multiple interviews where he's just like bugging? Like you can tell his eyes are gone. Like he's gone. He's literally gone. And like and like when he's sacked, he's on the ground. He's like looking out. And it's just like, I'm like, bro, where? Like, I don't know how he plays like that, but it's really impressive. So yeah, like I said, Aaron Rodgers is one of those people. It's like the Belichick thing. Like I just don't bet against him. So I lean over just for the sheer fact of like that man commands a presence. That man commands an offense, and like he could throw literally to Dax Milnes out there, like 100 Dax Milnes, right? like it wouldn't matter. So, yeah, like for the sheer fact of just him being him, like I would go the over on there.
I'm gonna lean the under on this one. Let's move on to the Vikings real quick. Vikings, this is my favorite pick. I love the Vikings this year. +270 win the division, already locked in. Over-under's 9.5 wins. That's already locked in on the over. +100 on the over. -121 on the under. They got better. They have the best receiving core in this division. I think arguably the best running back in the division if he stays healthy. Yep. Kirk Cousins, this is where you get in trouble. Kirk Cousins is not that bad. He's not that bad. So
that's the clip right there. That's it. That's everything, Carter.
Like, I don't like that, as Kirk Cousins would say, but he's not that bad. He's not. And the biggest thing of all is addition by subtraction. They get rid of Mike Zimmer and then bring in Kevin O'Connell. I think that just that breath of fresh air changes everything for them. Mike Zimmer is worth 2 wins, at least 2 wins. Are you kidding me? They blew so many games. So I love the Vikings. I think they got better. The Packers, I think, only got worse. +270, I think, is solid enough, a solid value, especially if the Vikings win week 1. That's the one thing week 1 will tell us. Usually, like week 1, we're like week 1 doesn't usually mean anything. Like last year when the Saints blew out the Packers like 38-0, like literally ended up being meaningless. I think week 1 tells us a lot this year. A lot. I think it did in college football too, with guys like Spencer Rattler, these transfers coming in, or DJ Uiagalelei, whether he's the Clemson quarterback. Clearly he's not. Going off a tangent here, but if the Vikings win week 1, I think +270, I think that's going to get shot down to like +170.
I agree there. I'm picking up what you're putting down, I think
you can't get past Kirk Cousins, can you?
No, I can't. I can't
Okay, there we go.
because he's the ultimate system quarterback. Like, there's no doubt in my mind, if he was a 49er, like, the Niners would have won a Super Bowl. Like, he's good if the pocket is fine and he doesn't have to improvise. He's not the most creative guy. I think that, Kevin O'Connell's system, which is, Sean McVay's system, which is like, it's all the plays are supposed to look exactly like each play that they just ran, and they do something differently at the very end. So if Kirk Cousins, it's a good system. It works for a lot of people, and he's talented enough that I think that I do think it's just tough because all the hesitation is the branding that is, it's the Vikings, they shit the bed. But I think I can lean over on this and think that they can get to 11. But my only issue is also that their defense is old.
True.
The defense is fucking old, and
a lot of overs.
And we saw Aaron Rodgers play with like no receivers on, what was it, that Monday night game against the fucking Cardinals, and he just sliced and diced everybody because the offensive rules are still the offensive rules. So I don't know, but I'm gonna lean over.
I'm with you. Sheer fact of, like you said, the running game is dirty as hell. The receivers are dirty as hell. Like, such a talented roster. You'd love to see what that looked like with a real quarterback that would like to take risks and like sling it around. It'd be so fun to see. It's like you just wish you could like almost like have a fantasy draft of just like quarterbacks in certain systems, just see how it would look. It'd be so fun. But I'm with you, Carter. I lean over.
All right. This one makes absolutely no sense. Bears 14-1 to win the division. That makes sense. Over-under's 5.5 wins. It's minus 148 on the over, plus 120 on the under. Who is betting minus 148 on the Bears to win 6 games this year? They have the worst offensive line in football. They have nobody on defense. Their top receiver is Darnell Mooney. Their top receiver is Darnell Mooney. Put that in perspective.
It's got to be just Chicago guys who, like, he's got to be like the fucking Barstool Carls of the world.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Just all the Barstool Chicago guys just hammering Bears over.
Yeah. Like, I've seen like videos of Carl, like, he's Looney Tunes. He's, I've seen videos of him, waking up at 3 a.m. on a Sunday, like his story, like I'll watch it and he'll just be up and be like, it's 3 a.m. and I'm getting my meats ready. And then he goes for a walk, and then he goes to church, and then he like does all this shit and gets ready for game. Like, those are the type of, and there's like a ton of them in Chicago. There's so many of those dudes who like don't believe it, but they're like, I'm just gonna bet $100 on them to go fucking over. That's got to be it. That's the only logical explanation.
Because we all lean under here, right?
Yeah, until proven otherwise.
Okay.
It's like one of those plays, right?
I honestly, like, plus 120 isn't enough to get me excited, but what does get me excited, the Bears to be the worst team in football is 12-1.
That's spicy.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's gonna be the Lions, bro. I'm telling you. I mean,
I don't think it's the Lions.
I know we're gonna get to it.
I think it's a team that's in Texas that might be in contention with the Bears. And it ain't the Cowboys.
Yeah, it ain't the Cowboys. I got you.
But yeah, no, we all lean under there. Let's talk about the Lions. The Lions are 9-1 to win this division. Over under 6.5. The over is minus 134. The under is plus 110. I think the Lions win 7 games.
I got to take. Let me rattle this take off. It would be the most Lions thing ever in the history of Detroit Lions football to go over, to have one great year, to make the playoffs and miss out on C.J. Stroud and why can't I remember the quarterback?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young, yeah.
From Alabama, right? It would be the most Detroit thing ever. Like Detroit Don, all these people. It would just, like the next year when they suck and there's no quarterbacks coming out, and then they go back and draft a fucking, offensive tackle on the other side to block for Jared Goff for another year. It would be the most fucking Detroit thing ever. So I think I just like looked into the future. I think I just forecasted the shit out of this. I think it's over. I don't know if they go to the playoffs, but I'm just saying, like,
I'll say, what's the odds for the playoffs? I want that bet now.
That would have been
I think they're like plus 450.
Ooh.
I was looking at it earlier. It was in the tickler file for me.
This team is like so close to being fucking lights out. And if Amon-Ra and Bryce Young end up getting together, like they played with each other in high school, so that would be disgusting.
Yep. They're that team, right? That like so many close games last year, so close to greatness. They're a team that hasn't learned how to win. And I know that sounds ridiculous. It's also a thing I hate saying, but it's like a true thing. Like once you have that culture of a winning, it's completely different. And that franchise is a losing franchise. And it's almost like infectious. And like, I don't care how like close you should be winning these games. They blew so many leads last year. They blew so many opportunities last year to be able to finish a game. So it's hard for me to bet this just because like, man, it's hard to bet on a franchise that can't finish games. But you're right, man. Like it would be the most Lions thing ever to have this like all of a sudden bust out year. Plus the Hard Knocks thing has really made me like really like these guys, and Jamal Williams, obviously our boy from BYU. I lean over too. I like it. I actually would put money on this one just for the hell of it, because for the sheer
plus
fact
410.
Yeah.
Plus 410 to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, plus 410. Whoa. I don't know about betting the playoffs, but definitely bet the over.
Yeah, no. I mean 7-9 kind of screw. Well, they're a team 8-1. They're gonna tie a game.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, Lions fans, you're gonna tie one game this year. It's inevitable.
Just through
it might be week 1 against the Eagles. That game screams tie.
I have that game on my card.
All right, I do too. But let's finish off with the greatest division of football, the NFC South. My sweet NFC South, the weirdest division of football this year, I think. Bucks minus 278 to win the division. Over under is 11.5 wins. Over is plus 125. Under is minus 152. I heavily like the under. I wouldn't take that kind of juice. But some sketchy's going on with Brady. I mean, they found out like him and Giselle are in different houses now. Something's going on there. He looked brutal, man. That half their offensive line is gone. Julio Jones is going to be playing for them. He's a dead man walking. Chris Godwin, he can't stay on the field. Mike Evans can't stay on the field. Gronk will come back at like week 4 just to avoid training camp. I'm going way under here. Way under. Interesting.
I think Giselle ate a tomato, so that's why they're living in separate houses. He can't have that kind of temptation around him. So that's my inside sources that I've heard. But other than that, nothing crazy. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like it's I have a rule: I don't bet against Brady. I don't bet against Belichick. Those kind of things. So I would never bet this play. But if I had, I'd lean under too. It just seems like screams dysfunction. It screams like Brady being like, I'm Brady, I'm the GOAT, which he definitely is. Like, I can figure this out, like, regardless of the weapons, like, just throw them out there, throw out whoever. And you're putting a lot on the fact of, like, the shoulders of this Bucks team just to kind of figure it out and mesh it. And if anybody can do it, it's Brady, so we'll see. But I do also lean under.
So I got, I think I have, 2 takes. So one of them is not even Brady can find a girl to, love football. Like, even Tom Brady can't get a fucking Sunday in peace. You know what I mean? Like it's remarkable. But so I genuinely think when you take out the off the field or on the court stuff, I think Tom Brady's the greatest athlete of all time. For my money, Muhammad Ali and Bill Russell are the greatest athletes of, or my favorite athletes of all time. I think Muhammad Ali's the GOAT, but that's because of the other stuff, right? Civil rights and all that other shit. But to me, off just strictly just field stuff, Tom Brady to me is the GOAT. And like you said, you don't bet against Alabama. I did that in Ohio when they played Ohio State in the national championship. That was dumb. You don't bet against Bill Belichick. You don't bet against Tom Brady. It's just, if there's a person who, if Todd Bowles doesn't fucking blitz on that play, the Bucks are probably in the Super Bowl against the Bengals.
Yep.
I genuinely believe that. So it's one of those things where I just don't think you if someone's going to bring it in, it'll be because he's a person. These guys in the locker room, there's guys who were -2 when Tom Brady started, and there's guys that were -1, and then there's guys that obviously watched him growing up, and he's like Superman to them. There's going to be people who are we got Brady, it's going to be okay. So I think that has to do a lot with that belief. like to Grant's point when we were talking about lines, it's like there's an idea that winning is infectious. You want to keep winning. You're gonna work a little harder when you're winning, or you're gonna have a little more confidence when you're winning. And we all know what confidence can do to a person. So it's like I genuinely think that, like, as long as Tom Brady is putting in the work, I think they're gonna be fine. And I would say over, because it's also the NFC South.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
That's the only thing that hooks me up. It's the NFC South. That's the problem. Brian's right. Like, there's, yeah.
Oh, okay, but you say don't bet against Brady, don't bet against Belichick. Rome must fall. You know, Rome had to come down. They said for years in the NBA, never bet against Greg Popovich. Greg Popovich always does it. You know, no, he doesn't. Greg Popovich is useless now. They're going to tank next year.
It's just like you're saying, like, I'm with you. Like you said, Rome has to fall at one point. It's just how many times you have to be kicked out of Rome, you know what I'm saying? Like, and watching the greatness from afar and just miss out on it for so long. Like, that's the point. It's just like,
I understand why, but
it's the unwritten best
practices.
Maybe. I mean, I've heard that for so many years though, right? Like that Chiefs Super Bowl, man, like I was all in on like the fact that Chiefs were going to just smoke them, and they just destroyed the Chiefs. Like, I was so wrong, and I've never been so wrong on a Super Bowl pick before, but man, like that, I was way off on that one.
This feels like his last season at the Pats, where like everything kind of seemed falling apart around him a little bit. It has that same feel. I think it was 2019? Was it the 2019 Pats year? And they lost to the Titans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seemed like they still made the playoffs, but like something wasn't right that year, and it was clear. And I feel like we're going to see the same thing, or I could be totally wrong, and they go 17-0 and just wax the entire division. Let's be honest. Let's move on.
It's the GOAT. It's the GOAT.
Let's move on. This team is getting the stupidest amount of hype in the NFL. Saints plus 325, over-unders 8.5, overs minus 134, unders plus 110. Brian, I'll let you go because I know you're a big Jameis guy.
So I think, yeah, Jameis Winston's my favorite football player. He's the funniest human. He does everything funny. Like recently, there was like a hype speech at the Saints, like first preseason game. And like you could hear, he wasn't even on mic. And every time that guy was saying something, you could hear like Jameis Winston in the background be like, oh yeah, you know. Like he just kept like, he's a part of it. Like he's so funny. And I want it to be over. I think this team is aging. I think Alvin Kamara, even I just drafted him on my fantasy league, but like I think this team is aging. I think this defense is getting older. Michael Thomas, I don't think he's played in 2 years. Chris Olave something, but like it's a surprise factor. We saw Jameis for 2 games and there wasn't enough to tell us that this team is for real. I also think that's just another year where they're older, and I don't buy in on what New Orleans is, like objectively. Emotionally, I'm all in. Emotionally, I believe in Jameis Winston, and like I'll say I told you so to everybody, because I said Jameis Winston was like going to be the real deal. Couldn't have been more wrong, but couldn't have been more right at the same time. 30-30.
That's a good point. Like that's what I keep hearing though. Like Jameis Winston could bust this league wide open, MVP ceiling. But it's like this floor is so bad. The floor is like he's the biggest like buster, like floor guy or buster ceiling guy. Like it's crazy to me just like watching him play. I don't know how you could ever, like you said, bet until you've seen something really proven. It's a guy that has a ton of starts under him though, so it's not like you're betting terrible money. It's just NFC South sucks. This team is, like you said, aging. The defense is so old at this point. Like we're paying big money for certain stars. It's just weird to me. And like the whole transition from coaching, I don't know. I don't like it. It stinks to me. I lean under for that reason, but I'm not convinced either way. Like you said, it all depends on Jameis Winston, 100%. Like what he is and what he can become. That's honestly what it depends on.
You guys mentioned every reason. Jameis Winston, we have no idea. The defense is getting old, paying guys a ton. I think their offensive line is overrated. And then Chris Olave, I think, is a stud. He's going to be awesome. I don't care what anybody says. Michael Thomas, it's kind of like the Le'Veon Bell thing. Is he going to come back and be good? Like he missed so much football at the prime of his career. I lean over. Under. Ugh, I'm not going over on the Saints. Under. They're 7-9. They're 7-10. Golly, I can't do this math. NFL, I can't. NFL math is too hard for me, man. All right, it's time. You know what time it is, Grant?
I know exactly what time it is, man. It's Baker time.
Yep. So in June, on this same podcast, I said, I just know I'm going to talk myself into the Panthers making the playoffs and having a great year, and that somehow they're going to do great. That at that time they did not have Baker Mayfield. Panthers are 11-1 to win this division, over under 6.5. It's been played a lot on this total because I got it at plus 105. It's now minus 115 on the over, minus 106 on the under. All in, even though our coach is awful.
Lost weight, though.
He looks good. He looks good. I don't think we lost weight, but I know Matt Rule did.
Oh,
yeah, he lost the weight that I gained. So yeah, I mean, I think with this team, man, like it's just interesting to watch the dynamic. If it was Sam Darnold, there's no way in hell I would ever touch any over in any world with these Panthers. But I kind of am with you, man. I'm buying the hype. I'm buying the Baker Mayfield revenge tour. Honestly, on that alone, like, and Baker has proven to be a serviceable, above average, whatever you want to call it, like quarterback in the league, right? When he's healthy. So like, we'll see, man. I'm willing to run those numbers on the over.
Okay, well, let's get this out of the way. The Panthers O-line is 10 times better than it's ever been in the last since, I don't even know, 2015, 2016 when Cam was there. It's way, way better. We finally got the left tackle spot solidified. Brady Christensen's going to have to play left guard. That's fine. Whatever. We don't have to talk offensive line. Let's talk the other positions. Now that they have a good offensive line, this is when McCaffrey stays healthy. This entire season, every Panther season revolves around McCaffrey staying healthy, which is an awful thing to rely on. But DJ Moore, the most underrated receiver in football, he's going to be a stud with the best quarterback he's played with by far, I think. Robbie Anderson's doesn't get me excited. I'm kind of tired of the Robbie Anderson stuff. I got the Panthers at 15-1 to win the NFC South. I love it. Panthers to make the playoffs, got it at plus 410. It's now plus 400, so not that much. Over 6.5. I love this team. The defense is so good. The defense is it's the most underrated defense in football. And the reason why I am willing to bet this, and just I know I'm a Panthers fan, whatever, those odds like speak to you, man. Like plus 400, plus 1,500. Like there's actual hedge opportunities if you can do math, unlike myself.
Can I just say that you have convinced me? Like your monologue, your speech, as some might say. Like I think you convinced me to at a certain. I mean, the lines moved. It was 1.5. Now it's 2 for the game.
So weird situation though. Bad weather in Carolina. We'll get into the week 1 lines. Bad weather in Carolina, and there's. I'll give you 2 words that'll throw you back onto the Browns if you're thinking about the Browns. Those 2 words are Matt Rule.
I do think I'm not like I think Carolina's defense is awesome. Like at the end of the day, I really don't know about. I will say this: I was thrown off by Carolina because the year before when Matt Rule was first there, I saw a team that was competing. They were competitive. They were in games. They were I felt like they were covering spreads, and so I was really looking forward to watching them play this year. And then it looked like they just fucking gave up. So I don't know if it's and now Matt Rule kind of looks like an idiot. That's his brand now, which sucks. And I think like the guys are aware of that. So I don't know, but the good news is this: you got a guy who is playing for his fucking life, and and I don't know if Matt Rule still wants to coach in the NFL, but you got a guy who's playing for his fucking life, and he's a quarterback, and like you got a decent team. So I think you got a shot. I think you definitely got a shot at the over.
Exactly. And I genuinely think the Saints and the Panthers are literally in the exact same shoes. It's just, who do you like more? Do you like Baker or do you like Jameis? Is Jameis worth an extra 2 wins? I don't think so. I think they're roughly about the same, what you're going to get.
Agreed.
It's like it's the whole thing of like, can Baker get a team over 6.5? It's 6.5, right? I'm not wrong there.
7 and 10.
That's
I
what
have
I'm
six.
saying. That is
I have
for sure
6.5.
That is for sure doable with the healthy McCaffrey and a Baker Mayfield that's playing above average. That's for sure doable.
On Barstool, it's 6.5 and FanDuel.
That's crazy. I'm on Barstool right now. I see it's 7.5.
What's the odds on it?
Plus 170 for over, and then the under is minus 215.
So if you click on it and go to the main line, 6.5 is like, I think minus 115.
Why not on the main line?
No, they put
I'm
out
not
their
on the
they
main line. Why
yeah.
don't they show you the main line?
It's the stupidest format. I don't know. I guess they want people to bet like different alternate.
They want to bet the
I don't
alt
know.
spreads. Like, yeah, interesting.
But no, like the NFC is so bad. Why can't the Panthers sneak into that 7th spot? And they should get quite a few wins in this division.
Mhm.
I mean, I could easily see them getting 4 wins in this division, going 4-2.
That's
not
not saying
crazy to
you got to
say.
find 3 wins somewhere else. Yeah, I don't hate it. I kind of like it, bro. I'm with you.
But yeah, who knows? They'll probably break my heart, and I'll probably cry and whine about it on here anyway. So anyhow, Falcons 30-1 to win the division. Over unders 4.5. Overs minus 134. Unders plus 110. Gross. Falcons are going to win 4 or 5 games. Marcus Mariota, not bad quarterback. He just has nothing around him.
Yeah, it's the rebuild for us in Atlanta. Like it's rough, man. Like this is kind of what I wanted. 2 years removed from the Super Bowl implosion that we had 28-3, but the rebuild's happening a little bit later than I would have liked. So it's rough, man. Like it, I just don't see how I can be super positive about the outlook of this team right now. It's one of those situations where, like, down the road, hopefully we have the right draft capital to turn this thing around. That's where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you guys were trying to get Trey Lance, and then like we ended up getting him, luckily. So I don't know how you feel about Desmond Ridder. He doesn't. I don't know. I just don't know. There's so many. I don't even know how I feel about Arthur Smith, to be honest with you. So I just don't. It's like the team. Atlanta's been like the team I've watched the least in like 5 years. Like it's just unfortunate. Like
they've turned into a London game team too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, it's not good. They're one, like you said, they're not a fun brand of football. Ever since that year, the 23 implosion against the
But
Patriots,
that's what happened to the Panthers too.
So fun. Yeah, it's true. Like you fall off the face of the world. It's the weirdest thing, man. Like, and obviously Shanahan had a lot to do with that, but like, it's just frustrating, man. Like, this team is nowhere near competing at a big level. So it's almost like you just draft these kids, like you said, Desmond Ridder, Tyler Algier, like some of these like young guns, and you just hope that you're getting high value for the picks that you're making now that become starters that can become contributors in like 1 to 2 years. So we'll see. Like that's
they're just like the Oklahoma City Thunder, just taking shots in the dark.
Yes.
Does Desmond Ridder give you Kellen Mond vibes?
I don't know about that, bro. Kellen Mond. I don't know. I think he's got more game than Kellen Mond. Like I think he's more of a dog than Kellen Mond.
But it's kind of those vibes though. Like
he's more of a dog.
I don't know.
He is more of a dog. Anyhow, I think we're all under gross Falcons.
It kills me, but yeah, I think we are.
Another night, we had to do back-to-back nights. We're doing AFC tonight, all on the same podcast. Let's just get right into it. AFC East, the favorites, the Buffalo Bills, minus 230. Over-unders 11.5. The over is minus 155. The unders plus 127. Every single pundit out there loves the Bills and has the Bills as their Super Bowl pick. I feel like the hot pick is like Bills Chargers. Even though every like sexy pick every year, whenever the Chargers are decent, everyone's like the Chargers, but the Chargers never actually make it.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was watching NFL Total Access today, actually. I think they all had the Bills. I think everybody on game day had the Bills. And Michael Irvin had the Cowboys, which is fucking.
That's awesome.
It's awesome, but it's also just crazy. It's awesome and funny, but it's just crazy. But I don't know if you want to be that team, because like there's 2 ways that I see the Bills, and I'm not sure which one is which. One is like revenge tour, like we're ready to go. We're not gonna find out till tomorrow anyways, and tomorrow's a good test. But the other one is like, hey, we want to get back to the AFC title game right now, and we're impatient, and they're just going to be, maybe a little bit bored with everything that, comes with that. And like that day-to-day grind just makes you less effective at being a good team. You know what I mean? However the sentence is that I'm trying to say is, but you guys get what I'm saying.
100%. Yeah, no, you're right. It's like almost like you're born, as they call it, like on third base, right? At this point, right? Like everyone expects you, and you're just like, I don't really care about the first part and the second part to get third. Like you just don't care. Like in like you said, that monotony of doing it over and over and over again, getting so close and then getting shut down, it's got to be tough. So exactly what you said. Like, and if anything happens, like knock on wood, but if anything happens, obviously Josh Allen, like this is a very different conversation we're having, and how durable he's been. I feel like something is like. I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a season where he's going to be out for like 1 to 2 weeks, like weird, like nagging injuries, like in the regular season because of what you just mentioned. But I don't know. That's my take on it. But I feel like it's one of those situations where it's going to be a weird bet. If anyone that takes it over, like you said, there's just too much. It's never good to see everybody on the same team before you go into the season. It's never good.
The one thing I do like about the over though is I think this division stinks. I think the Dolphins will steal a game from the Bills for no reason. I think there's going to be like the Bills who have some massive win against whoever, and then they got to play the Dolphins on a short week, and then that's how the Dolphins win one. But I mean, I think the Pats are way overrated, and the Jets are the Jets, obviously. And then I don't know. We'll get into the Dolphins in a second, but I'm not the biggest Tua guy. That's why like 11.5. Someone in the NFL has to get to 12 wins this year. Like the best team in football is not going to be 11-6. I'm getting my math right. We're getting there. Well, and then you think the best team in football will be 11-6?
No. I think one team, like if it's good, it's probably going to be on the NFC side, because I don't like, it's not going to be the Chiefs. The Chiefs aren't going to get to 12 wins. Like that division is so, like, we know how difficult it is in the NFL to win a game. Just, the parity is like, that much. So I don't see, and I know that the NFC is not as good as the AFC, but like, the NFC West is like the team that would normally do that. The Rams, they're in the NFC West with the Niners, which is one of the best, rosters. Then you look at the Packers, the Vikings got better. The Lions, kind of scary. The Bears stink. But like, who else is the team? Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay's got injuries. So it's like, who is the most the NFC East? The Eagles? I mean, they're the NFC East. They cannibalize each other somehow. It doesn't matter if the Giants are like 0-11 and the Eagles are 11-0. It would still be like an 11-6 game for whatever reason. So I don't know where there is a 12 team, like for sure, like a 12 team that, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I got you. The thing is too, one thing that worries me about the Bills, we mentioned it before we started, their run game, man. Like at some point, your running back has to be able to run the ball. You have to be able to hand it off to your running back and get 3 yards, get 2 yards. And I obviously understand like they have the option of Josh Allen. Eventually, you don't want to run Josh Allen every single week like this, because you mentioned it, Grant. He might get hurt like that if you don't have a solid running game.
Yeah, and thinking about it, like today's NFL, without the rules and regulations that we have now, Josh Allen would not be the quarterback that he is, right? Like 10, 15 years ago, he's not as incredible. Like, even though like he'd have the same arm, all those things, he would for sure be getting banged up a lot more than he is now. So like that's the saving grace that he has. Like the rules and regulations we have now for QBs is so different than what it was before. But even saying that, like the way he runs, you're going to expose yourself to one of these like random hits one of these times. And that's what I'm saying. It takes one of those hits and he's out for 2 to 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Like, and it's just weird. It puts it in a weird situation. Like you said, if they have that much stress on them to be both the passing and the running game of their offense. So you're right. One of these guys need to emerge. If they do, then yeah, they're chilling, right? If they have an explosive running back that they finally draft, I know they went through Zach Moss at Utah. They drafted him as well. And we just mentioned James Cook as well earlier before we got on here. Like all those guys, like someone's got to come from that. And if they do, then yeah, they're going to be in great shape.
Let's move on. Yeah. What's up?
Just want to say, look at the schedule. Just like for like the only team in the AFC that could potentially win 12 games is the Bills, right? They play the Rams, they play the Ravens, they play the Chiefs, they play the Vikings, they play the Packers, they play the Bengals. Like they have a tough schedule too.
Yeah, that's rough.
The NFL has made, like, the schedule guys are like the UFC guys. They're just out there, just like putting out the exact matchup that you want to see, which is really, really fun.
They did lose 21-0 to the Panthers in the preseason, so I mean,
that is super telling. That is super telling. Yes,
it is. PJ Walker might.
That's a bad
omen.
Man, yeah, I'm looking at the schedule right now. That's a tough schedule, man.
Tough schedule. They all do. Every football team has a tough schedule. They're so good at it. I'm telling you, they're the
like they have a okay stretch. They go Lions, Pats, Jets, Dolphins, Bears, but like even those like Pats in New England's never an easy game. At the Lions is going to be an annoying game. I think that's the Thanksgiving game.
The good thing about the Bills is they finally got over that hump against the Patriots, so they've got the monkey out the back. They've started to take care of business with that. So I'm not too much worried. Like once they get in division games, like you mentioned, Carter, they're going to be fine. Like they're going to clean house. They should win an 80% clip, if not higher, in division. And so it's like once you get there, you're chilling. So like you said, if they can brave the first half of that gauntlet, they'll be fine. That over would be, that over's hitting.
All right, let's move on to the Dolphins. Dolphins are plus 475 to win of the division. Over under is 8.5. The over is minus 134. The under is plus 110. I don't know how you can feel confident betting the over, especially at minus 134. Like you just have to be like a delusional Dolphins fan. Like we mentioned it before with the Bears. Like all these like minus 140 over win totals, I think it's just delusional fans that have a decent amount of money just placing bets on them. I think that's all it is. And then the ones that are like minus 134 for the under or something like that, or minus 140 for the under, that's like people being like, yeah, this team's going to suck.
It's like all the people that are like, Tua's legit. This is Tua's coming out party. And it's like whatever you believe on it, man. But like, I don't know, man. I gotta see this year. It's a prove it year for sure for Tua. Apparently, for like we talked about before, Daniel Jones has another prove it year somehow. A lot of these quarterback have prove it years, but we'll see, man. Like they got the weapons now. They're a dangerous team if they can put it together. That's the cool thing about the Dolphins is like they're so close to like busting it wide open. And you feel like if they had a legit QB threat, which is so many teams in the league, but you feel like if they had a legit QB threat, like we'd be talking about the Dolphins as a sleeper, like even like overcome the Bills in that division, right? Like that's the kind of talent that they have around. And wide receiver, obviously with Tyreek Hill and like some of these additions, like it's just fun. It's a fun team. I just don't know if I buy the Tua hype. That's the problem. That's literally what it comes down to.
I think it's a scary team. I think Mike McDaniel is like a confident coach who knows how to run the football. He was responsible for the run game while he was at at San Francisco up until he, became the OC. And like by all accounts, like this dude, like he's one of those dudes. He's like a grinder. He eats, sleeps, and breathes it. And he's wanted to be in this position forever. I don't believe him when he says that like Tua is his guy, but like at the same time, Tua's the best option he has, so he's gonna just run with it. And he's been in a situation where
is he? He's Two Gloves is on the bench.
What's up?
Teddy Two Gloves, aka Derek, is on the bench.
Yeah, Derek. I don't know. Maybe it's just blind optimism. I don't root for the Dolphins anymore for what they did to my boy, but like at the same time, I like Mike McDaniel, and I think I don't know. I think they're scary. To Grant's point, like this is an interesting football team, and the offense that they run, happens to be pretty easy on quarterbacks, and Tua's a guy he can hit, slants all day. So with the run game's decent, like I think this team could do it.
Yeah. I don't know. 8.5 is a weird number. Like that seems just so right.
It's an uncomfortable number because, like what we said, it's going to be very evident pretty quickly, like whether that over under hits.
And that's what we mentioned earlier when we were doing NFC stuff is that week 1 is going to be very, very telling. Like obviously we'll like fall into a trap of someone week 1 where like we're going to be like, is Joe Flacco better than Zach Wilson? Like if they keep it close with the Ravens for some reason, some bull crap like that, obviously like that'll fade. But like Pats Dolphins, I think we're going to know in that game what we're getting from both teams. Vikings Packers, I think is going to be very telling for both teams as well.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It'll be interesting. It's going to be a fun team to watch though. That division is going to be interesting in the sense of like so many teams, and I'm sure we're going to talk about them just now, but so many teams have the potential to like big bust mentality or like, big boom mentality. It's interesting.
Let's move on. Patriots are plus 475. Over unders 8.5. Over is minus 125. Unders plus 103. The over is minus 125 on Barstool Sportsbook. So take that for what you will. I think that's just Pats fans once again just hammering the over on the Barstool Sportsbook. Now that it's legal in Massachusetts, the under is plus. So you can do under 7.5 at plus 170. What,
Ooh.
like, obviously, the old saying, never bet against Belichick. That's the other, obviously I know I went heavy against Brady, like when we're doing the NFC stuff, but I don't see it from the Patriots. All last year we were doing these podcasts and everyone's like, yeah, the Patriots, man, like they're legit, like Mac Jones is legit and all this. I was like, I just don't see it. They're barely getting through these games. The second the Patriots get down 10 points, they're done. They can't come back from a 10-point lead, 10-point deficit.
Yeah, like the Patriots are one of those teams that I just don't understand in the sense of like you're right, like I can't ever go against Belichick, and like that's just one of my unwritten rules. We've talked about it, but also at the same time, like this team seems like the biggest fade team of all time. Like it just feels like this offense is going to struggle. It feels like you said, like this team can't come back when they get down early. And it feels like Mac Jones I don't know. Mac Jones was like the most consistent rookie. I guess you can put it that way. But also he was definitely in the best situation and system, right? With the right quarterback or with the right coaches. So it's kind of hard to gauge. And like you said, I just don't know. There's no way I'd be touching any over with this team.
It feels to me like the Patriots are that team that just feel like the people who are running it are maybe just getting a little old, and it's weird to say because it's Bill Belichick and he won a Super Bowl.
Well, it's like the Spurs at the end of their run.
Yeah, it just feels like like to not, when you look at who's the offensive mind that's coming out of there, and it's Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, who we've seen, and their teams didn't like them, and I get it, like being coordinators really different. It's different than being a head coach, and it just feels like a team that's just like kind of put together. Like if I just saw everybody on paper besides like Bill Belichick, I'd be like, this looks like a high school coaching staff. Like I don't like feel like anybody is the next guy to take over, and the guy left to coach the Raiders. So it's weird. I do like Mac Jones a lot. I like Mac. I think he's really, really good. I just think like they don't have receivers. They don't have a ton of, like Grant was saying, like the offense is kind of lackluster, and the defense is always made up of just dudes. Like the defense is the absolute ultimate team, like fill in the holes here. We're gonna stick to a system. So it's like, I don't know. I just think this is a team that's gonna be like at 8 and 9.
Yep.
I'm just not a Mac Jones believer at all. And I know that's people like
we've talked about this, Carter. You and me have talked about this. We're like, dude, I just don't like. People are raving, and we're like, like pumping the brakes. And the other thing, it's just odd.
The other thing too is that they're spending money. They're spending outrageous amounts of money on the weirdest players. Kendrick Bourne is getting a ton of money. Kendrick Bourne isn't even a top 3 receiver on the Panthers.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And they spent the most in free agency last year, right? Like the most they've ever spent in the history of spending. And like, isn't that concerning that like after like their whole shtick is like what Brian mentioned, where it's like we take guys like, for example, Kyle Van Noy from the Lions, who was like, got drafted to the Lions, didn't do well, but then performed at an amazing level for the Patriots for years, then won multiple Super Bowls with them, like that defense. Like that's their shtick. Like what Brian was saying, like they plug and play guys that just aren't like low value guys or mid value guys that like play at a way higher level. And it feels like right now, like it's just all coming down to like, yeah, that only goes for so long. And like, I don't know, it feels like it's not like meshing like it used to. Like the magic isn't there to the extent of like what it was before. Yeah, it's hard to like describe, but it just feels like something's off.
I wonder if it's a case in that they're just maybe a little behind. Like when they were ahead of the curve in 2007, when they got like Moss and everybody, like they changed the way offense is played. The offense was like 90% of each offensive system was played. Everybody knew, you know what I mean? Like there was all the same kind of copycat league. Then they changed it, and it kind of just changed into something else. And I wonder if they just have fallen behind in the sense that, even like before then, like nobody drafted like smaller players or got smaller players, but then they invested in twitchy players who are really quick. And so now then you had like Wes Welkers of the world and the Julian Edelmans of the world and like guys that are quick to get, 5 or 6 yards to get that little bit of separation that Tom Brady needed anything to go. And I wonder if there's something happening where again it's just changing, but they're behind, because that could happen. It's possible that it happens. I just don't know. I'm curious because just when I look at the Patriots, I look at them, I just see like an old team. It reminds me of Jeannie Buss. When I like see Jeannie Buss and the way she runs the Lakers, it feels like it's a mom and pop run shop instead of a corporation based on math. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I don't necessarily know. Football's not necessarily that, but it's just, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say about the Patriots too, the thing I respect the hell out of Belichick and that team is like, I feel like they make you play in the most uncomfortable way that you don't want to play the game at. And I feel like they make you play like that for 4 quarters. And they're like, look, we're going to concede this specific thing that you hate to do. So go ahead and do that for 4 quarters and beat us doing that. Like, that's what I kind of love about them. I kind of respect that about them. Like, they're like, look, we're going to take away this thing you love, this thing you love, this thing you love, but this thing you hate, you can still do it, but you have to do it for 4 quarters and beat us that way. That's what their team is. And like, that's why I respect them so much, because like you said, the lackluster doesn't really matter when you have Belichick as a coach. He's that talented. So we'll see. We'll see if he can pull another, rabbit out of the hat, as they say.
I love Bill Belichick. So
I don't hate Bill Belichick by any means. I just don't like this roster. I look at this roster, I just think it stinks. And that's why I'm going to take under 7.5 wins at plus 170.
I love it, bro.
Give me the alternate under, bro.
I love it.
Whatever. We've done enough on them. Like, I just don't see one position. There's not one position I'm like, this is unbelievable. Like, but anyhow,
isn't that the Patriots team though? That's like the Patriots to me, right? What you just said.
Patriots way, baby.
They had Brady.
True.
But I will say in 2016, 2014, in the second, I guess the middle now of Tom Brady's career, everyone was saying he wasn't, looking the way Tom Brady normally looked. They thought he was on his way out. But to Tom Brady's point, it's like the fucking team sucked.
Yeah.
They don't know how. Bill Belichick cannot pick a receiver. That is
That's what I'm saying. Their draft is insane. It's so terrible. Yeah, they
can't sign free agent receivers. They can't draft free agent receivers. Like, I don't know what their metric is, but it's not working.
They did get Brian as a scout there for sure.
Yeah.
You're just gonna look at all those dudes in college football, the Kadarius Tonys and all those dudes. You're like, yep, That you're just looking at their high school highlight mixtape, the Tavon Austins. You're like, oh yeah, get him down here.
Yeah, get him over here.
Last but not least, the New York Jets, 25-1 to win the division. Over under is 5.5. The over is. You want to take a guess at this, Grant? What do you think the over is? What do you think what do you think the odds are on the over?
The odds are. Oh, you said it's over 5.5 games, right?
Yep.
And this is updated now with Zach out being 4 weeks.
Yep.
I don't know. Give me like minus 120, minus 110, or is it plus money?
Minus 155.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense because it was like the most popular bet for a while was the Jets over on the season total.
And then plus 123 for the under.
Wasn't that the most popular bet at one point? Was the Jets over on the season total?
I'm not as big of a Zach Wilson guy as you are, obviously, Grant. I think we're neck and neck there. Like,
yeah.
But like, I see them winning 5-6 games. Like, Vegas knows what they're doing.
The problem with me is obviously the health of Zach Wilson. It bothers me that he keeps getting hurt. It bothers me he's out of games. He's not getting the reps he needs. That's troublesome, bro. Like, that just bothers me. And then, like, these young players have got to mesh and got to work together. And when you have so much time off for a quarterback, it's just hard for these guys to mesh together. So, like, that's what my biggest concern with the Jets is, like, how quickly can they mesh? And, like, is this team going to be patient? Or are the fans going to be patient enough to let that happen? That's the question.
Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule right now. You tell me if they could win 6 games. Here we go. So first 4 weeks, it's Joe Flacco. Ravens week 1.
It's a loss.
Browns. Yep. Browns week 2. That's
That could be a win.
That's going to be a tricky one. Bengals loss.
It's a loss.
Steelers.
It's a loss.
Is it? Dolphins.
Yeah, because it's
Steelers.
It's at the Steelers. Yeah.
Yeah. Still.
I guess that would be week 1 of Zach back. I don't know, man.
Can I just point out that they beat the Titans last year and
the Bengals.
And the Bengals.
Yeah, like there's gonna be these weird games. Exactly. Like you'll say, hey, the Jets will beat the Jags. No, they won't.
they should beat the Jags. Well, we'll see.
They should beat the Jags, but then they'll go ahead and just go beat like the Bills on a letdown spot.
I see what you're saying. It's but that's what I'm saying. So how quickly? Okay, so Zach Wilson now misses 4 games. Without Zach Wilson, the first 3, right? We think they lose 2 of the 3. They may win the Browns. And then Zach Wilson comes back week 4 of the Steelers. And even if that's a win, that's 2-2. Go to the next one, Carter, after the Steelers. Even if they win that game.
Dolphins.
That's a loss.
Packers.
That's a loss.
Broncos.
That's a loss.
Patriots.
So I'm saying that's a loss. That's probably, I don't know. We'll
Bills.
See this year. Definitely a loss. Like you have to pencil. You
maybe Pats again.
That's what I'm saying. The schedule is brutal, bro. The front half of this is absolutely brutal.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, yeah, you can say, oh, well, once they get to the back half, the thing is, like, all that motivation's dead. Once you're already
the whole thing of like, dude, they could be a much improved team, and I know I've heard this multiple times from like other media streams. They could be a much improved team, but the actual win-loss could be not very much different than what it was last year. And they could be a much improved team that's very competitive in games, because there were multiple games where they didn't even belong on the same field as the teams. Like both Patriots games, they didn't belong on the same field as the Patriots, right? The Bills games, same thing. Like they were somewhat competitive in the latter half when Zach was playing, but the one where Mike White actually played, like they got blown out of the water. Like most of the games they played, they weren't even competitive. So it's like they could be extremely competitive in games, still lose, which I could definitely see like close games. They could be like this year's Lions, where like they're multiple. You know what I'm saying? Like the fight is there. Their competitiveness is there. They're close in the games, but they just don't know how to win. They don't have that culture yet. And so I could see them losing a ton of close games. So like they could still even like come. Like I said, I lean the over too, but I understand like where like why the line is set where it is. It's like Zach Wilson hasn't proven to stay healthy. We don't even know what he is with this young team, right? Even when he is playing, and their schedule is ridiculously difficult. So it's like you have so many things playing against you, and their division is awful. Like it's super tough. Like you have the Bills, Dolphins, and the Patriots, who are dominant against terrible quarterback or younger quarterbacks, we should say, right? So like everything is stacked against you, and your schedule is awful too. So like you said, I lean the over, but like, man, I see where this is like a difficult play for sure.
Can I just say this? I feel like I need to say this on behalf of like whatever Jets fan is listening to this and thinking about just walking onto a subway train as it's coming. I think that you should, if you're gonna bet this, I think hammer the over. And this is why I think you should, because we talked about how difficult the schedule is. Grant, you make great points. It's a grind. You know what I mean? That schedule's tough. But at the same time, like Robert Saleh knows how to coach defense. He's got some really good pieces. Like I can never say his name. I think it's Quinnen, but like Quinnen Williams, you have Sauce Gardner, and you have some
Love Sauce
that I forget. Like it's all gas, no brakes. Like this defense is gonna bring the fucking house. They're gonna bring the pressure, and he's gonna know how to do that, right? And I will say this, like the Niners are a perfect, case study in the sense that in from the same system that Salah uses. In 2019, they went to the Super Bowl. No one had the Niners going to the Super Bowl. There's a famous like Adam Rank meme now. He had the Niners going 3-13 at the time. And so it's like they have a LaFleur who knows the system. They have a set of running backs. They have that going. They have some pieces at receiver. Granted, they don't have Zach Wilson yet, but like Joe Flacco is like capable enough that maybe if they hold on, like I think it's possible that they're going to be competitive. Like I have bought into this Jets team, but because of the regime, like I'm a full believer in the regime. So that's all I would say. You believe in the regime. They've proven that they could do it in a different place. And I think they brought the same guys, and they're drafting guys, and they had a really great draft. Like there's upside there. And so I would say,
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Brian. I love the pieces. Like on defense, like statistically, they're the worst defense in the NFL last year. It can't get worse than what it was last year. Like statistically, they're 32 of 32. So yeah, you're right. Like they're for sure going to be much improved, but they've added like tons of talent in the secondary, tons of talent up front. They've had talent up front. They're getting healthy with Carl Lawson. Like they have pieces. They have the right pieces. It's just what scares me about the Jets is health has been an issue. That schedule is tough, but like you said, there's no play other than the over. You have to play the over here. And if you're gonna buy a stock in a team, I would love to like buy a ton of stock in the Jets. Like it's just such a fun young core, and if they can put it together, like they're gonna be such a fun team for years to come. I'm super excited. I'm high on the Jets. It's just I didn't want to come across as negative Nancy, but like I'm high on the Jets. It's just frustrating to see like that
You
Zach
being
can't
realistic.
we can't play week 1. I'm like, damn, bro, we got to see him week 4 now. And like, it just pushes back the timeline, which is a little frustrating. That's all.
One thing you mentioned, Grant, how like this could be this year's Lions. The Jets are going to be a pain in the butt to bet against. You are going to be sweating every week because you're like, oh my gosh, the Jets are even if the Jets are bad. Let's go week like 6, whatever, week 5. I can't do math. You know that. Week 6 against the Packers. And Packers are minus, 10.5. Just a weird line. They're minus 10.5. You're going to sweat that out. Like if you're taking everyone's going to have the Jets and their money line or the Packers and their money line parlays and their teasers and all that. And they're just going to be one of the worst teams to bet against because they're going to be competitive in all these games. You mentioned it, Brian. Robert Saleh is going to make sure they're competitive in all these games. I think last year it was just such a like nightmare with the roster and injuries and everything. There's nothing he could have done.
Yeah, that was their whole defense was decimated by injuries. And like, you're right, bro. They could be the parlay buster. I know we talked about parlays before we went on the show, but like they could be this, like you said, this year's Lions where they just broke so many parlays because they kept every game close and everyone would like, that was parlaying tons of spread plays, lost it. So yeah, I love it, bro. That would be our parlay buster team of the year for sure. The Jets. If Zach Wilson can be the dude that they think he is, like that team could be scary. Like you said, they have the weapons now on offense. They have tons of weapons now on defense. Statistically, they literally can't be worse. So it should be a really fun team to see. I'm pumped. I'm pumped to watch them.
Let's move on to the AFC North. Okay, AFC North. Cincinnati Bengals plus 170 to win the division. Over under is 9.5. Over is minus 134. Under is plus 110. Let's go with the argument against the Bengals to start out. The argument against the Cincinnati Bengals is like most other teams, like my Panthers, like your Falcons. When you lose the Super Bowl that close and you have this like surprising run out of nowhere, usually the years following after that are an absolute disaster. Everything falls apart. And the Cincinnati Bengals are a prime suspect to have that happen to them. They're one of those franchises where like, oh, they're kind of cool when they're good, but when they're bad, they're bad. And that's what's happened to us as Falcons and Panthers fans. But the counter argument to that is Joe Burrow is the man. Jamar Chase is arguably the best receiver in football, if you want to go that far. T. Higgins is a nice beast. Joe Mixon is solid. They've improved their offensive line. They've made improvements on defense. But that Super Bowl loss is always hard for teams.
For me, I look at it's just the Super Bowl hangover is so real. I used to think it wasn't. I used to think maybe there's a team out there where it's not. I mean, I think for the Chiefs is the only team that I know of that's lost the Super in recent memory that's lost Super Bowl and just went back to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, like
or went back to the playoffs in a competitive manner.
And and we're competitive. And I mean, they could have beat. I feel like they could have beat the Bengals, and they did. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to see it until it happens, I guess, again. I don't know. I just don't really. It's the Bengals, right? And it's like, have they fixed their stuff on defense? Like, how did they? Like, no one. They went on a run, and I just don't know how they got to the Super Bowl to begin with. To be honest with you.
That's exactly what it is, Brian. Like what you just said. Like they won so many games that they weren't supposed to win, and that they won by like razor thin margins. And like you said, the parity is so small in the NFL. To replicate what they did that run, to catch lightning in a bottle again is so hard to do. It's so hard to do. And it's no knock on Joey Burrow. Like, I love Joey Burrow. Like, I think he's one of the top quarterbacks, top 5, top 6, whatever you want to say, like in the NFL right now, just based on what he played. But like to catch lightning in the bottle like that and do it on a consistent basis on a playoff run is so extremely difficult. So you're right. Like to see the kind of performance that we saw last year is going to be extremely difficult. But if anyone can do it, it's Joey B, man. It's Joey Long Dick B, as we call him. Like literally, man. Like he's gonna ball out if he's gonna ball out. And like you said, they have the weapons. They've had an improved team. There's no reason why they shouldn't. Or I guess our only hesitation is the fact of like catching that specific lightning and like doing what they did on a consistent basis. That's extremely difficult. That's my only hesitation with them.
Yeah. I don't know if there's really much more to talk about on the Bengals. Like with their over under, like 9-8 seems right. 10-7 seems right. Like, and once again, like obviously Vegas is going to have most of these like right there. I mean, Vegas is way smarter than we are, but like, I wouldn't be upset betting either side. I would probably lean over, to be honest. But like this division is a lot like the ACC in football, where the ACC just has a bunch of 6 to 7 win bowl teams that are like just annoying to play against. And you have to play them on like a Friday night. It's a cold night in Louisville, and you could like just randomly lose that game. And you got to go to Wake Forest at noon on a Saturday when it's kind of dead in November.
Carter, this is an elite level take. This is one of that's a phenomenal take. That is exactly what that is. That's a great take.
It's like, every college fan knows exactly what we're talking about now.
Yeah, because like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just yeah. But anyhow, let's move on. Baltimore Ravens plus 140, over under is 10.5. They're favored to win this division. Over is plus 100, under is minus 122. The contract situation with Lamar Jackson is wild, that he's representing himself.
Love that.
I kind of like it too. I kind of like it because didn't his mom negotiate his rookie bonus?
I don't know. I mean, there wasn't much of no.
I'm sure he like just used the NFLPA's people or whatever.
Probably.
But like, that's the thing, like, this is crazy. And then, so the argument there's two arguments to all of these. Obviously the argument for the Ravens, it all comes down to Lamar Jackson. I think the defense will be fine. Everyone's like, oh, the receiving core sucks. They're relying heavy on Bateman. Hollywood Brown was their number 1 target last year. And it's Hollywood Brown, man. Like every fantasy draft, he's ranked like high, like 44 overall in most like ADP for fantasy drafts. He's falling to 60 in every single fantasy draft. No one's like, oh man, let's go. I got Hollywood Brown in the 5th round. No one's excited about that.
I wouldn't even draft him. I don't want
everybody. Nobody wants him. And then Rashad Bateman, he'll be fine. Mark Andrews is probably the 1st or 2nd best tight end in the league. That'll be fine. J.K. Dobbins, I think, will only get better. It literally all comes down to Lamar. Is Lamar going to play great? Is he going to be able to throw the ball? Is he going to be trying to play like another analogy I'll give right here? This is kind of the same situation. I'm not even a baseball guy, but kind of the same situation Aaron Judge went into. Aaron Judge didn't want to sign whatever contract the Yankees gave him going into this year. Now he's got 55 home runs already, dominating, playing for his contract. Could we see the same thing with Lamar this year, or could we see the opposite?
Lamar's one of those people that's proven like to be a baller, bro. Like, you can't bet against Lamar. So like you said, like, I lean the over as well with this team. And like what you said, the Ravens are an organization that's earned the trust of bettors everywhere. Of like, they get games won. They win games. They win close games. They're a winning organization. Like, they do things throughout the way. I will say though, have you all seen the video of Kyle Hamilton just getting absolutely torched in coverage? It is so bad to watch, bro. Oh,
I don't think it'll be that bad. I think that's what. Be that bad. No, because like it's what in his defense, I think it's one of those one clips where I see Matt Corral throw a 60-yard bomb to Shi Smith, and I'm like, these two, this is the next Jake Delhomme to Steve Smith. Like, we got this down, bro. Like, we're going back. We're going back. But and so like with the Ravens, you mentioned it, like the trust you have in them. And then let's say Lamar goes down for a few games. I think it's inevitable. He's out 1 or 2 games for some weird reason. He always has like the weirdest reasons, like he has to poop or like COVID.
Or COVID, a weird reason.
But as much as it pains me to say this, like Tyler Huntley is a solid backup option.
He's like the Kirkland brand of of Lamar Jackson. Like when you go and you like the Walmart brand, right? The great value.
Shout
brand.
out. Whoa. No, I don't think he's great value.
Whatever it is, whatever you want, whatever one.
I think he's Kirkland because like Costco stuff is nice, bro. Like I'm a big Costco guy.
Okay, all right. Well, then let's go.
I think every white guy's a Costco guy.
For sure. I'm a Costco guy, Carter. So
okay, just making sure. You
know,
exactly.
We hate Sam's Club on this podcast, bro.
It's a lot inclusive here, okay? But no, he really is like the Kirkland brand. He's good. He's solid, bro. He has proven to be a solid backup, one of the better backups in the NFL. So you're right. Like he can win games when he's out, and he's proven that. But that's what I'm saying. Like the Ravens organization is an organization that you can trust to win games, be super competitive in every game they play, pretty much, and pull out close wins, even when they just do stupid stuff in the beginning. Like they're that kind of organization. They're a winning organization. So like I don't know how you can bet against the Ravens, and I don't know how you can bet against Lamar Jackson. I just don't understand. Like I don't get bettors that would be betting against him. I don't.
I 100% agree with everything that Grant just said. I don't think there's anything for me that needs to be reiterated. I guess the only thing I will say is that I heard Steve Young on NFL Countdown say something that I thought was really, really smart. Like that dude knows quarterback play. And he mentioned that he thinks that Lamar Jackson could do more and that the Ravens kind of don't trust him to do more. Like they don't put him in a sophisticated offense to do more. So he gets knocked for he doesn't have the greatest throwing motion, and he gets knocked for, throwing some balls the way he does. But at the same time, like there's not receivers to throw to, and I don't know how much separation they're getting. It's probably not a lot. And I don't know. I trust Steve Young in that regard. But besides that, like they are an organization to trust. And I think if you had to pick, you got to go over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think they're winning the AFC North.
I do too.
Yeah, exactly.
The Brian Flores, Omar Khan football team, but it's not.
He's at the Steelers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's not my second team.
Yeah, no, I got over 10.5. Let's do like the most controversial team in the NFL right now. The Cleveland Browns plus 450 to win the division. Over unders 8.5. I found that on a random website. Every sports book has taken it down because of what's going on with Deshaun Watson and what Jacoby Brissett is. So I don't think there's any odds on it. I saw one like random place, like those weird betting sites.
We'll take your money for sure. Yeah, bet on this guy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't know what to say about the Cleveland Browns. I hate Jacoby Brissett. So you mentioned like the Kirkland brand, Tyler Huntley, and you're trying to say the great value. This is truly the great value version of Ben Roethlisberger. Like he is end of the road Ben Roethlisberger, like 1,000%. But I mean, Amari Cooper is whatever. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt clearly wants out of there. I don't really know with this Browns team, dude. It's weird.
Cleveland to me is like the sunken place. It's straight up like the sunken place, bro. Like people get there and they're like happy to be there first, and they're like, whoa, I am stuck.
Donovan Mitchell, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out Donovan Mitchell. But like you said, I don't have much on the Cleveland Browns because again, we don't really know what the dynamic of that team is going to look like this season based on pending allegations and all this stuff and suspensions, and it's just weird. But from such a promising team with so many weapons at wide receiver last year and the year before, and the offensive line being one of the better in the NFL, amazing run game, like it's just super sad to me to see like the current status of them and like they're going all in, and obviously this is like their last ditch effort. It just feels weird. It feels like really like they're doing like a weird version of what the Rams did. And I don't know. We'll see how it pans out, man.
It's got to be a weird locker room environment because on some level, like you can't tell me all 53 dudes on that team are like, yeah, man, we stand by you. We know those women. We know those 22 to 66 women aren't all telling the truth, So it's like it's got to be a weird locker room environment. Like it's got to be a weird feeling being like, fuck. Yo, our QB's really weird, dog. Like, you know what I mean? On some level, like, I don't know how much bonding you do with the dude who's like, kind of operating under who does those things. It's got to be weird. I don't know if you can bond with somebody who forces himself during who got like 200 massages. I don't know what the number is. I don't know what the number of massages he got, but like I don't think you can have a conversation with the dude that's gotten like 365 massages in the course of 365 days. It's just strange. So like I feel like it throws the locker room off. I'm surprised that like they tried to get him, but like at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know. You're not going to know until it's too late. Quite frankly.
Okay, but also you're like, yeah, well, I don't know why the Browns try to get him. There's like 6 teams trying to get him. Is the crazy
Atlanta
part?
was trying to get him. Oh,
the Panthers were flying him into Carolina trying to get him. It was like Kevin Durant free agency again.
By the way, Carter, what's the over under massages? That's the real question. That's what we got.
Like futures odds or what? Futures odds or past odds?
Only legitimate places would have the over under on the massages. Let's be honest. Like that's really what we should be putting our hard earned money on. Oh man.
Oh yikes. But no, the one thing too is like you're talking about all the massages and stuff. You know what the sad part is, and it's not even. I don't know if it's necessarily sad. It's just people don't like. I'll relate this real quick to like. Remember when Zach Wilson stuff came out? Like he was hitting, he's banging moms and stuff like that. And Zach Wilson was like freaking out with Jack Mack from Barstool. He's like, bro, you can't do this. Like, this will ruin my image kind of thing. And then everybody's like, dude, Zach Wilson's the man, dude. Like, he got that dog in him. He got the dog in him and all that. The crazy thing is, like, sports fans are so dumb. Football fans are so dumb. Deshaun Watson's going to come out against the Texans and like the Bengals and drop like 400 yards, have this like ridiculous games against these guys. And nobody will mention once about the massages besides like fans trying to like mess with them in the crowd. Everyone's gonna be like, Deshaun Watson is good. The Browns going to make the playoffs. Nobody's going to talk about the massages. Everyone's going to talk about the play on the field.
It's what have you done for me lately?
It all depends. At a certain point though, if he does keep winning, like at a certain point, it'll just become like a comma. It'll be a comma and you'll fucking move on. It'll be a dependent clause. It's not even going to be an independent clause. You know what I mean? Like it'll just be that's a grammar joke for my fucking grammar heads. But like that's how unimportant it'll be if he keeps winning. It's just not, it's just the way it is. It's so like, I think I heard somebody who had a great take on it. I forget. It must've been on PMT, but it was somewhere where somebody said like, I didn't want him on my team, but I'm a huge Cleveland Browns fan, and if they win the Super Bowl with him, like, and he's the one hoisting the Lombardi trophy, like I've never seen the Browns do that in my life, so I'm gonna have a photo of whoever is hoisting the Lombardi trophy. I'll have that. If it's him, then it's him. As unfortunate as that sounds, and I was like, hey man, you're like a rational human being. Football just does crazy things to us, doesn't it? Where you're gonna put that guy?
Yeah.
If that's the guy holding the trophy, and you're still like, I mean, we won. It's just a weird. It's weird. It's weird, and I get why people don't like talk about it a lot.
Cleveland seems cool with it though. Let's just put it that way. They're
sure.
like we're cool with this.
The moment he went there, he was like, the moment he went there, the people were like, listen, like.
Like, I don't care.
You prove it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't hold up in court. It doesn't hold up here. Like it's such a crazy fucking thing.
They're just like, we don't care. We don't care. It's a Stephen A. Smith where he's like, we don't care. It's literally that. The only little small thing I'll say on this, but through work I actually met Deshaun Watson's uncle and aunt. They were some of the nicest people I've ever met. They were super cool. They were honestly super cool. So I will say that about Deshaun Watson. He's got a cool family. He actually bought them a house where I live in Flowery Branch, Georgia. So that's a fun fact for you guys.
That's cool.
There we go. That's why the Falcons were in that sweepstakes. Browns, whatever. Sure. I'll throw it in the dark. 7, 8. So that math doesn't add up. 7, 9, and 1. 7, 9, and 1. That sounds.
What's up with every team having to have a tie with you, Carter?
Bro, we're gonna see.
You're tie guys.
We're gonna see
soccer.
We're going to see. I love soccer, except today when Liverpool just got straight up spanked.
Napoli.
We're going to see 3 ties here in the NFL this year. We're going to see 3 ties.
Is that the average? What's the standard? Do we know?
I think the average is 2.
Okay, that sounds about right.
1 or 2?
I thought it was 1.
2 sounds right to me though. 1?
I bet you Vegas would set the over under at 1.5.
Exactly. I know the Lions had one last year.
Yeah, I think did the Bengals have one?
I can't remember.
I don't
I feel like
remember.
it's
Whatever.
like
Who
around like 1 or
cares?
2.
Yeah, who cares? Whatever. Let's move on. Steelers 8-1 to win the division. Over under 7.5. Over under is both -110. The Steelers are another team. It's kind of like the don't bet against Belichick, don't bet against Brady. You don't really want to bet against Tomlin when it comes to season win totals. But this team, man, they've got some holes.
The only thing I want to say is never had a losing season.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You want to talk about the great value version of Ben Roethlisberger? That's Mason Rudolph. And like fucking, I don't know.
Does anybody like Mason Rudolph? Like, is there one Mason Rudolph fan?
I don't know. You know, the only thing I think about Mason Rudolph is when Myles Garrett hit him in the head.
Yeah, that's it.
I remember the slow motion of him looking at him and just angrily going, "You bitch!" The way he said "you bitch" in slow motion.
Yes.
Just he was so shocked, and he was like, "You bitch!" I think that was the funniest fucking thing. He's just how do you lose to Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky? Like, I don't know. It's interesting what this team's able to do. I think Kenny Pickett starts by like week 4. I think it's the smartest thing to do. If they're neck and neck, you give it to Trubisky because you can't go back from Kenny Pickett because then he'll lose confidence most likely. I think you give it to Trubisky. I think I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
9 and 8.
You okay. This may sound stupid. So the quarterback room of Mason Rudolph, Mitch Trubisky, and Kenny Pickett, doesn't that just make sense? Those 3 guys.
Like, it checks out 100%. It's almost like Mike Tomlin's like, watch me. Literally watch me what I can do with this, bro. Watch me.
Yeah.
Like those 3 guys together, like
baller,
I bet you they have so much fun in the quarterback room.
I also just want to say this. Brian Flores is on that team. He's Honduran. Omar Khan, the general manager, half Honduran.
Very
1.5.
nice.
1.5 Hondurans operating the Steelers. So all my heart, besides the Niners, locked it in the Berg, in Pittsburgh. I don't know what they call it. If they call it the Berg, I don't know. But I'm gonna start calling it whatever the fuck they call it.
I love it, bro. I love it. They're gonna be eating baleadas halftime before they go out to work. I love it, bro. I'm all about it.
Let's go.
Dude, shout out Pittsburgh, dude.
The Green Book, yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the better parts of the Green Book. I love it.
Over under 7.5. Shoot, I'll go under, dude. I'm not afraid. 7-10. Yeah, that's right, math. It's gonna trip me up. I can't do it. 7-10. I'm not scared of Mike Tomlin. I'm not scared of Bill Belichick. I'm not scared of Brady. I'll go against him.
Wow, you're going against the greats this year, Carter.
Yeah,
hey,
like. I'm sitting here watching tennis right now. All the big 3 are gone. Nadal gone. Djokovic gone. Federer not even in the tournament. We're watching Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner. Times are changing. Times are changing.
True.
Anything else on the Steelers, really? I mean, I just feel like they're going to be annoying to watch, and they're going to be in primetime games. You're like, all right.
Yeah, Brian said it all basically. Like, I just don't say I love Mike Tomlin, and I want to see what he can do with this team. And like what he mentioned is like you can't kill a kid's confidence with Kenny Pickett. They picked him in the first. He was the only first-round quarterback, right? I'm not off there.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the only first-round quarterback taken. Obviously, they have a plan for him, but like what Brian said, you got to break this kid in slowly. So it makes sense. Trubisky's playing. Let the kid learn a little bit. Let him see a little bit. And then if he legitimately is better or on par, then you start easing him in this game. So we'll see, man. We'll see. It's just rookie quarterbacks, man, mess with over-unders for sure.
100%. And the thing is, like, I hope Kenny Pickett succeeds. I actually really like Kenny Pickett.
Same.
But that's enough. That's enough for the AFC North. We'll move on to the AFC South. All right, the AFC South. This feels very chalky to me. Let's start off with the favorite, the Indianapolis Colts are -134. Their over-under is 10, -110 for both on the over and under for win totals. Like I know we talked about like you don't want to take juice for that long of a season. I kind of love the Colts to win this division at -134. I just don't see a roadmap for any of these other teams taking over that.
Matty Ice, baby.
Matty
Matty
Ice.
Ice.
Like, that's the thing. You go from Carson Wentz to, like, the Colts are one win away from going to the playoffs, winning that division. And then you go from Carson Wentz, who was all over the place. It's a roller coaster, missing games. Then to Matt Ryan, who's just going to be stable. He's not going to go crazy. It's kind of the Kirk Cousins thing. Like, he's a little bit older, but he's definitely worth a couple more wins than Carson Wentz.
100%. You couldn't have said it better. Like, you're going to get stability in that organization, which is that's literally all that organization needed, was a steady hand at the quarterback. Because you have Jonathan, you have arguably the best running back in the NFL, and Jonathan Taylor. Like, all he's going to have to do is hand it off 80% of the time and then make the correct throws 20% of the time. And Matt Ryan can do that. That's why I love the Colts. Like, dude, they're that type of team. They have the build, they have the makeup, and like you said, they're in a division where they're not really going to be tested to a crazy extent. So, yeah, I'm with you, man. I love the Colts with Matty Ice. I love this team.
Yeah, I agree. Like, if this was, 2 years later, probably have a different take, maybe, depending on what we see with Trevor Lawrence and the Texans and how competitive they can be. The Texans low-key competitive, but, like, not competitive enough. And, like, the Colts were really good last year besides Carson Wentz. So, I don't know. I agree with everything you guys are saying.
Yeah, and Michael Pittman's a great guy in fantasy this year. He's going to be a stud. He's going to be a stud. I mean, he was awesome last year with Carson Wentz, and he's going to be 10 times better with Matt Ryan. And also, the offensive line of the Colts is solid. The defense is solid. Like, there's just a solid team. They're the only stable team in this division whatsoever. So Colts minus 134 for the division, and I love the over. The thing is, this division is so bad. They're not going to go 6-0. 6-0 is tough in the NFL. It just doesn't happen in your division. I could see them going 5-1 in this division very easily. And then you just win 6 games outside of that. So give me Colts 11-6.
I love it. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Shout out Dylan. The Tennessee Titans plus 190, over unders 9, overs plus 103, unders minus 125. This is another one we talked about, like juice. We don't like taking juice for season-long win totals. I like the under at minus 125. The only thing that scares me is what if Malik Willis comes in, is just electric.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Willis is coming in. Like, yeah. They drafted him like the way Ryan Tannehill played in the playoffs, and the way Malik Willis has played in the preseason, and how electric he's looked like Anthony Richardson on some level out there. Like, he's rolling left, sidearm and right. Like, it's unreal what he's able to do. So, I think, I don't. They got Treylon Burks. I don't know if the team's gonna be any good. Sorry, Dylan, but like, Derrick Henry's a little bit older. But I think Malik Willis is gonna start. That's all I think. I don't know anything else about the Titans. I think they kind of stink, even though their defense is good. So maybe they don't stink, but I don't know.
All reports from what I heard is Treylon Burks is not looking to be the man that they thought he was going to be. So that's I don't love that. I don't love the fact that they're reporting that he's
inside sources confirm.
I can't say insider sources confirm. All I can say is sources have confirmed this thing. But
so Colts fan 69 on Twitter is like, exactly. Dude, Treylon Burks is not that guy.
Look, I've heard of someone mentioned that they might transition him to tight end. Like, that's the only fit. I'm like, what the hell? So I don't believe that to that extent. But if Treylon Burks
is he Kelvin Benjamin? When Booger McFarland just murdered Kelvin Benjamin, he's a Popeye's biscuit away from being a tight end. Is that Treylon Burks already?
I mean, no, I don't think we're there yet. But I do
watch him just be a stud.
I wish Dylan was here because he would give us just some spicy fire and why we should believe in this team. But the problem is I just don't. And like you said, unless Malik Willis is the second coming of Michael Vick, right? Like, I just don't know if this team's going to make any noise. How many more elite years does Derrick Henry have? Like, because
I have a pick coming on later. His over-under rushing total for the season is 1350.5.
Oh my gosh. That's if Malik Willis comes in, they're going to hand it off like 99% of the time.
If Ryan Tannehill is playing, they're going to hand it off 99% of the time.
That's true. Yeah, you're probably right.
Like the offensive line's kind of deteriorating in Tennessee as well. Like, I just don't see it. This team screams 8-9. Jeff Fisher is back, dude.
Yeah.
Like I just don't see it with Tennessee. I think we're all going under here, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. The team with the most wild NFL season. We're gonna have a great HBO documentary coming out about this past season for the Jacksonville Jaguars in about 3 years. 7-1 to win the division. Over under 6.5. Overs plus 106. Under is minus 129. This is a crapshoot kind of bet. Like, it's just, do you believe in Trevor Lawrence? Is their offensive line worth anything? Is Christian Kirk good? They
Gonna be the dog for him. Yeah.
Yeah, like Christian Kirk is making insane money right now.
This is such a stay away in reality.
Mhm.
I wouldn't even look at this again.
Nope.
I don't know what I don't know what they're going to be. Like, there's so many questions. I don't know even if Etienne is going to be. We still got to figure what the fuck's.
Well, they just announced today James Robinson's playing with no limits on Sunday.
Okay.
So like
Like,
is that a good or a bad thing? Like,
I don't know. I remember when Urban Meyer was like, they play Travis Etienne at receiver, and everybody was like, that's weird. And now he's not there anymore for all the other reasons. But that should have been like one of the first signs. But I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. Trevor Lawrence does a lot and he's really good. Is that defense did that defense get any better? Am I tripping? Did they? I'm asking. Does anybody know?
They spent a ton on free agency, so I know they've added some pieces. I think their defense will be improved, but not drastically improved, if that helps.
Yeah, like they for sure are probably still going to suck. So
can they is there a way for them to win 6.5 games on the dot? Like they get like 2 ties.
Didn't they have the draft back-to-back years?
I think you're right. No, the Texans drafted number 1 overall this past year. Yeah.
No.
It was Jacksonville. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Back-to-back years.
That's someone. Who did they even pick? I'm blanking here.
Dave
Georgia. He's gonna be
Jordan Davis.
He's gonna.
Oh
yeah,
no.
Jordan Davis went to the Eagles, right?
Yeah, no. It was Tavion Walker, right?
Yeah, it was Walker.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna be. That's the thing. He's gonna be a guy like it's gonna be a trivia answer. There's like, who was the number 1 pick in the 2022 NFL draft? You're like, whoa, dude, I totally forgot that.
The reason why it was so wild because Aiden Hutchinson went too. Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, he's the most it's like one of those guys where it's like crazy potential, but was not like the consensus number 1 pick, and that's why they picked him. It was like strictly off potential. And yeah, you're right. Like 2 years in a row, you're the number 1 pick. That's the Urban effect right there. Very impressive that they, went from the worst team to the worst team. Yeah, really impressive. Yeah, back to back. I mean, I know he wasn't a part of the one before, but to be the worst team again, man, like
that's Urban, so demoralizing. To I'm sure it was a breath of fresh air, and they want to prove that Urban Meyer is, that it was Urban Meyer and not them. But at the same time, like, I think they're gonna suck again. So. Do
you believe in Doug Peterson?
No, I think he's kind of dumb as well. I don't know. He wrote a book. I remember he wrote a book about winning a Super Bowl the year after he won a Super Bowl, and then they couldn't fucking win anything anymore. And I know part of it is because he let Howie Roseman walk all over him. But I also just don't know. I don't know how good of a coach he really is. I guess we're going to find out.
We're going to find out. Exactly. It'll be fun to see Trevor Lawrence with a
better situation.
Respectable coach, right? A respectable in the league coach.
Yeah, there are dumber guys for sure. You could have dumber guys on the sideline for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So they got that going for them.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
They got again.
Let's go 6-11 under. 6-11. Cool. Last but definitely not least, the Houston Texans, definitely least actually. I lied. Houston Texans 25-1 over unders 4.5.
Davis Mills.
Minus 110 on the over and the under. I kind of like them to get to 5 games.
There is just no division shittier to watch, shittier to talk about than the AFC South. And it's so ironic because in the South, it's like that's where football is the most
college football.
feared and loved.
College football.
Yeah, college football for sure. But I'm saying in general, like high school football, college football, it all matters. Like, and it's just the fucking worst. Like, I'm grossed out by their colors, I'm grossed out by the teams. Like, Davis Mills has a long neck. Like, everything. Doug Peterson wears stupid visors. Like, I fucking hate Shad Khan's mustache. Like, I fucking hate it all. I hate the AFC South. I hate talking about the AFC South. I don't like Jim Irsay. I don't like Lucas Stadium. I don't know anything else about Indianapolis. Who else is on that stupid? Houston's too hot. That's it. That's all I got for you.
We made so many enemies in so short time. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it. I don't know, man. I've always been kind of like I've always appreciated the Colts. But yeah, Davis Mills, bro, is an interesting situation. It's like someone with zero expectations that's played above expectations. Everyone's like, he's not that bad. Like, that's crazy. His neck keeps getting longer, but he's not that bad. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know. It's crazy.
So are we saying that Mike Glennon is the Walmart version, the great value version of Davis Mills? Or is it the other saying that, like, Mike Glennon walked so Davis Mills could, like, jog?
Could reach the fruit with his neck from the top of the tree. Dude. Yeah, exactly.
This is a classic case. This is a classic buy one get one, or like buy one half off. Like, this is a promo. This is like a promo. Davis Mills is the promo of fucking Lennon.
I love it.
All right.
I don't know how you bet anything with this team, bro. Why would you bet anything with this?
Anything in this division, like these teams, like the Jaguars, the Texans, the Browns, even the Jets, the Bears. The under is cash. I don't care what you say. The Bears, I like that. Or like the Seahawks. Like, why are you gonna touch the Seahawks? Like, don't.
Football teams.
Like, save your money. Save your money. Don't.
You can't touch it.
Even if you win it, stop.
Yeah.
Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's end the AFC South for, thank goodness.
Saving the best for last.
All right, last and definitely the best division in football right now, the AFC West. The favorite, the Kansas City Chiefs, plus 170 to win the division. Over under is 10.5. The over is minus 121. The under is minus 104. This is a weird team in Kansas City because you lose Tyreek Hill, but is addition by subtraction in a way, because now they were able to help out other positions like offensive line and defense. At the end of the day, like, I don't think they're much different, like, when you come to wins and losses at the end of the day.
Yeah, the best way I can describe the Kansas City Chiefs the past few years, it's been like the nicest sport, like a McLaren or like, just a Mazda, like just a beautiful, beautiful vehicle. And like your tires are super jacked up, the grill's like coming off a little bit, and you like use you guys know the Flex Seal, like the Flex glue.
Oh yeah, Sam
like
Darnold.
The Flex Seal. Their Flex Sealing, that's their defense. Their defense every year has been like a Flex Seal patchwork. Or even our boy Danny Sorensen, Dirty Dan, like how bad he's been playing. Like, he played pretty bad a lot of these years, bro. And I hate to say it because it's throwing one of our under the bus. But like, the Flex Seal has been very apparent in a lot of these games down the stretch when they needed it most. That's the frustrating part about the Chiefs. And so, like you said, if you can shore up some of the obviously glaring issues on the defensive side and the offensive line, like Patrick Mahomes, he doesn't need Tyreek Hill. He already has like a plethora of weapons. He just needs someone to give him some time to throw, and he needs someone on defense to be able to stop the other team from scoring every time they take the field. Like, they were in multiple games last year that they should not have been in because their defense was so bad. And Patrick Mahomes had a super slow start last year. Like, he had an abnormal, weird first half of the season, like weird season, like for sure weird. Like, he was playing normal at the end of the year. But I'm telling you, that first half, everyone was like, what the hell am I watching? Like, this is not even Patrick Mahomes' ball. So it was very interesting to see that. That's my thing about them, bro. Watching them, like, Flex Seal their defense over and over again.
Speaking of the Mahomes, did you see the Tyreek Hill clip about Jackson Mahomes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best clip of the offseason. It's not even close.
It feels like it's the Chiefs are kind of playing with this balance or this idea of, like, how much can Patrick Mahomes do to, like, save us? And I think that is, I think, one of their biggest issues. I think Steve Spagnuolo maybe is not like, if I was Andy Reid, I would have fired Steve Spagnuolo and hired Vic Fangio in a heartbeat.
Or Brian Flores.
Yeah, or Brian Flores. Oh, 100%. Like Brian Flores for sure. Like that dude's a genius defensive coach as well. But like Vic Fangio's defenses are run in like, I don't know, his like system is run in like a quarter of the NFL franchises. So it's like the first thing I would have done is I would have hired that guy. So I don't know necessarily if I don't like. I just think they're asking him, let's just like bail us out. And, I think at the end of the day, they're just not gonna, that's why I don't think they're a favorite to come out. Like, I think it really is the Bills, as crazy as it is to sound, as we've made fun of everybody taking the Bills, but it just doesn't, to me, it doesn't make sense to, I don't even know if they're going to win this division. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I just don't think that I don't know if they will.
Sorry, I had to step aside here real quick. I had to hit a reverse jinx on Twitter.
Nice.
Okay, congrats. Yannick Sinner, best tennis player alive.
There you go. You got to believe it, though. You got to believe you're really going to lose.
This is the problem, though. Like, I actually genuinely believe this one. And you don't want to genuinely believe your reverse jinxes. I genuinely believe this one. This one's over. So, F my life. No, but like that's the thing with the Chiefs though, is like if the offensive line is good, if you give Pat Mahomes time, he's gonna dominate. That's all that matters. He's got another guy, like it doesn't really matter who he's throwing to. It's like he's got his tight end there. Mecole Hardman. He's like once again, we keep using this analogy. He's the great value, like Ted Ginn, like just a way worse version of Ted Ginn kind of thing. Sky Moore, we don't really know what that is. Juju, I think, is going to have a good year. Like, Juju's a solid pickup in fantasy. He's going to be like a weird guy that, like, sharps are going to have nice player props on, like, where they're like,
tons
oh, yeah,
TikTok.
Juju. Yeah.
The Jackson Mahomes, Juju Smith-Schuster post-win TikToks are going to be just everywhere. They're going to be
amazing.
And people are going to say horrible things.
You a big Jackson Mahomes fan over there, Brian?
Me? No. You know what? I do. I love seeing Patrick Mahomes like look low-key annoyed. I don't know if he is annoyed.
Yeah, that's the best part.
His wife, like like I remember one time just seeing him write like, people are weird, love you, babe, and then like added her. Like, I'm pretty sure they just created that Twitter for her that day so he could say that. Because like there's no way that I don't believe she ever tweeted anything a day in her life. I just think I don't know. I just think I got nothing.
Yeah, be careful. Be careful what you say. Be careful with what you say. Are there Jackson Mahomes stands out there? There's got to be like two.
We should start like a group forum, like a safe space forum. That'd be our contribution to Twitter. That would be our contribution. We got you guys.
Just start a
safe space for all those people.
A safe space for Jackson Mahomes stands.
Fans, yes, and Carter will be the face of it.
We just do Twitter Spaces. Is like, all right, Jackson Mahomes TikTok just came out. He danced on top of the Steelers logo this week.
Let's break it down. What were your favorite moves and why?
He twerked right on this logo. It was. Some find it disgraceful. We find it tasteful.
It's a hint disrespectful, exactly, but a lot of taste.
Funny enough, TJ Watt tweeted out that was the reason he sacked Patrick Mahomes extra hard.
All right. I'm gonna go over here. I think Pat Mahomes is gonna have more time in the pocket. I think whenever these wide receivers leave, like, does it ever work out well for the receiver? I mean, we talked about like the Dolphins earlier. Like, does it ever really work out for them when they get this big money contract and
he got paid?
That's what I'm saying. It worked out. He got paid. I'm talking about on the football field.
I know what you're saying, but hey, bro, you got paid, man. And he's doing a ton of podcasts right now, so he's obviously focused. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, man.
I see 11-6 happening for the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's move on. The sexiest pick. Yeah, for sure.
I just want to say that every athlete has a podcast now, and like, I don't know if they realize how boring and dumb their podcasts are. I don't know why. Like, it's crazy to me that these athletes listen to, they listen to Joe Rogan podcast, or they listen to somebody and they were like, oh, bro, all we got to do is hang out. It's like, no, You gotta make it feel like we're hanging out. I mean, you're just sitting there talking to another dude, asking you like questions that you know, and going, "Oh yeah, most definitely." Two is, I've never seen a ball thrown to me. What are we doing? Like these fucking guys sometimes.
He's like, you vibe with that? He's like, for sure. Like that was an in-depth analysis. I really appreciate it, man.
Hey, blessed and humble, man.
No one can have anything. Athletes just, I'm gonna start my YouTube channel. I'm gonna start a podcast. I want to tell my story. Dude, your story is not that interesting.
You went to prep school at a California. You went to a California prep school in high school where the #1 recruit. You went to Bama. It was so tough, man.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, unless you're Deion Sanders is legitimate when he's like,
there's exceptions.
Or I'm gonna do, there's exceptions, but Tyreek, like, what the fuck, bro? It's not engaging content. I just don't understand why. It's so crazy to me. It's just like, I'm gonna start. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start a podcast. Why? Fucking run routes. Invest in real estate. You won. Let us do podcasts. We need to win. You just getting in, and I know I'm sounding like a guy who's like, I don't even have a podcast right now anymore. But I'm just saying, like, you're just being there. It's just stupid. Sorry.
But Brian, ESPN called this podcast new media.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I'll bite my tongue. All right, let's just move on. Chargers plus 225 to win the division. Over under is 10.5. Over is plus 110. Under is minus 134. The thing about when you talk about any of these teams in the division, it's just such a tough division, man. Everybody has to play each other. And like, is everybody in the division just gonna go 3-3 against each other?
I would love that, actually. I would love that, just from like the chaos and from from a gambling perspective. I just think that would be a lot of fun.
Like, I mean, I love the Chargers. Like, it's impossible to say you don't love the Chargers. Like, they just have studs all around the field. They have young pieces. Justin Herbert is the freaking man. Austin Eckler's a freaking dude at the running back position. Keenan Allen's getting a little old. Mike Williams is a boomer bust guy. I mean, they're talking about how great Josh Palmer is and all this. Like, it's impossible not to love them. But like every year, it was like when Phillip Rivers and they would get like big free agent signings. You're like, the Chargers, they're going to make the Super Bowl. Like, but they're not.
They're not. Yeah, they're the sexy pick that seems to never materialize. As sad as it is, that's what it seems like. They're like that team. You're right. There's not much not to love about this team, and it just creates to what we've talked about. This being such a competitive division. What's the over again, Carter?
10.5.
Ooh, man, that's the problem. Is how they have to play those games in division. I don't even know which way I'd lean. I wouldn't bet against Herbert because I absolutely love the way that guy balls out, but that's a tough one.
I think you make a great point, Grant, that it's that they're, they're like with Phillip Rivers and all that stuff. They're very that classical, I guess, bridesmaid sense where, they're just always there. People always think they're going to do well and they don't, I do think I think it's going to sound funny. This is a perfect, like, because it's football. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but this is exactly what football is. Like, this is the NFL to a T. This feels like a perfect, the Broncos win the AFC West part somehow. Like, Russell Wilson did it, and then I have to see Russell Wilson's fucking, face on camera, low key, kind of looks like me a little bit. Like, I have to see that dude on camera talk about how, all this, talk about whatever he's going to talk about, but they're going to, it's one of those moments where it's like, it could be them. Because how often does it work out? Like how it worked out with the Rams? How often? Like, it doesn't always work out. Like, the Patriots did it in 2007, and then Tom Brady hurt his knee and then never had or the next year they never had a shot, right? Because they hurt his knee. They lost in the Super Bowl. The Rams won this Super Bowl this year. But realistically, if Todd Bowles doesn't blitz and if Jimmy Garoppolo can throw a fucking football, like, they're not in that situation. So I just don't know. Like it's hard, and the NFL is so classic. It's fucking, who knows? Maybe Derek Carr could be hoisting the Lombardi. Who fucking knows?
So over under on the Chargers.
I mean, they have so much talent that you have to say over because they got the dudes.
Yep.
Yeah, lean over.
I'm interested to see what week it is when we finally get the Braden Staley. Like, there's going to be like 2 weeks early on where he goes for 2 in a critical spot and it works out. And they're like, this guy's a genius. And then like 3 weeks later, it's like the most hysterical ending where like, why are you going for 2 right here? Kind of like the Scott Frost onside kick thing. Like, dude, no. Like you got to have balance with this aggressiveness.
There's nothing better than a react on a coach that just made a horrible decision. Like seeing Scott Foster on the sideline try to like tell himself, all right, lock in, stay focused, don't worry about your job, don't worry about your mortgage, don't worry about any of that shit. Like seeing somebody like have a like crumble before your eyes after making a boathead decision on a football field, I love it.
But to be honest, bro, he was on the headset. He's like, "How much did I cut my getting fired bonus? What was that?" He's like, "How much did I cut that in half again?" He's like, "How much was it? I lost $6 million." He's like, "Oh damn, that sucks." He's like, "I should have for sure just taken the full amount, the full buyout."
Yeah, I'll go over here too. 11-6. They're just good. They're just flat out good. Grant, did you have a pick?
I leaned over as well. Yep.
Okay. All right. Broncos plus 270 win the division. Over under 10. Over is minus 104. Under minus 118. What we just talked about it, like this division, kind of a crapshoot. Like, do you just take the Raiders at plus 650 and let it ride? And just be like, I don't know if anybody has like value because like this plus 225 for the full season, like really get you excited.
No, but if I had to take a team to like put a flyer on, I think I would take the Broncos. As crazy as that sounds, like that would be the team I'd bet. If I had to bet one of the teams to win the division, I think I'd bet the Broncos just for the hell of it. Just for the sheer fact of like this team has had the makeup on defense and has some offensive weapons. It just obviously needed a quarterback, and Russell Wilson seems like he can. This is like a career reviver in the sense of like it's like his final act type thing. I don't know. It just kind of seems like a team of destiny to me, kind of like the Bengals in a sense, for different reasons, but for the main reason of just Russell Wilson and to see what he could do with that team and his whole thing is like, I don't want to have to carry a team. Like you for sure as hell are not going to have to carry a team with what, they have around him in Denver. So it just seems like a team that needs to win. I don't know. I kind of like this team. This is one of my teams I really want to watch this year, as weird as that sounds.
I want to see if Russell Wilson still has it.
Yeah.
Like there's people like he came back early. And for whatever the reasons are, did the fucking pretend to a drive or a whole game? God, this guy loves the camera. Like, but I do think that they're like to Grant's point. Like, I think they've had a defense that's been really, really good the last few years. And if Russell Wilson is healthy, still a good quarterback. I don't know much about the offensive line. And they got some pieces. So I think they're gonna, it all depends. I just don't know. It's a crapshoot. Like, but if you had to pick a team, I think you pick the Broncos. And if you pick a team because you want to be, you want to let it ride and have a crazy bet, you take the Raiders.
This is another team. We'll know week 1 what we're getting for the season. I feel like we'll know in that Monday night game. Like, obviously, I think it can get better throughout time. But initially, like, I think we're gonna know, like, if Russell Wilson's back, especially that it's gonna be this week 1 is gonna be so telling for a lot of teams. Yeah, I mean, I think they're 10. Can I say push? I think they're 10-7.
Like, I kind of like that play though. I like it.
I wish I could bet the push. 10 on the dot.
On the push on the dot, bro. Like the crazy odds. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
All right, let's finish off here. Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders plus 650, over under 8.5, over minus 125, under plus 103. Once again, man, I mean, this division's tough. Vegas has every single team in this division with a winning record.
I mean, they made the playoffs last year. The chart, I think somebody said that it's possible that all of the teams make the playoffs in that
Yeah,
division.
it is. It is.
And if that's the case, like I just don't. I mean, it's clearly. I mean, clearly the Raiders are the least talented of the bunch, but they got Josh McDaniels, and Josh McDaniels says he's learned his lessons. And Derek Carr's not that bad, you know. Darren Waller's pretty good. Max Crosby's great. So
Devontae Adams,
you know, I just, you know, I think they're the least talented of the bunch, and so I mean, but you know, why not go over? So I don't know. I don't like. What was the number?
8.5.
8.5. Fuck, man. That means
I know
they gotta split. I think it's possible too because the parity. I think you go over. Say fuck it. I think you go over, and if you can parlay all 4 of them, do it. I don't think you can.
But what if you just took all 4 overs like straight up? I think you go 3-1.
Would you? I guess they'd have to dominate out of division, yeah, all of them.
But they should.
Yeah,
I think you go 3-1.
I kind of like this Vegas team, man. Like the makeup of it, they're fun. I mean, they're the perfect like Vegas representation of what Vegas is, bro. Like you don't know what the hell you're gonna get, but I feel like it's gonna be super fun to watch. And like that team, like you said, Derek Carr is solid.
You know how like the Vikings last year, you could never guess what line the Vikings were going to be the following Sunday.
Yes,
we're never going to know what the next week line is going to be for the Raiders. It's going to be like
that's how it is betting the Raiders though, bro. You never knew what team was going to show up. They were Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde last year, like the type of team it could beat anyone. But like then some weeks they're just so bad. They were so hard to bet. Like there's certain teams like that. Like that for me in the NBA is the Denver Nuggets. I hate betting the Denver Nuggets. Whenever I bet for them, they're the worst team I've ever seen play. And then whenever I bet against them, they're like the greatest team in the NBA. They're so frustrating. That to me is the Raiders, man.
There's
Brian, who's
on the wrong side?
Brian, who's on your do not bet list? Do you have a do not bet list?
I do have a do not bet list. The whole NBA is on my do not bet list.
Oh, NBA.
I remember like I never fade the Lakers. I always tell anybody who's like first getting in who's like looking for some teams, or I always just say fade the Lakers. Like LeBron James on the Lakers, the lines are gonna be loaded. Like fade them. I'm surprised at how many people like put them in parlays and then end up not winning. But like, you know, I think on the NFL, do I have you know what, this is gonna sound funny, unintentional. It really is unintentional. But AFC South teams I don't bet on because I don't want to watch them play. I have to watch. Or it'll be like a betting, like don't watch it or just score watch it and you know, put like a little tiny, you know, fucking quarter of a unit on a team or something.
All right. NFC East division matchups are my do not bet. I don't want to touch a rainy Commanders versus Giants game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a good point, Carter. That is a good point.
All right. Well, that'll do it for divisions. We'll let's do some like random picks, like MVPs and those kind of picks, and then roll into week 1.
Okay.
All right, just random picks this year, whether it's MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, total sacks, whatever you got, whatever. I'll go first. Let's do a straight bet one. Derrick Henry under 1,350.5 rushing yards. I don't think he stays healthy the whole year.
I think that's a really good bet.
I think that's just what I'm going against. That's all I got. You guys have MVP, anything like this?
I don't really, but I saw at the time when I did this, Justin Herbert was 10-1. I thought that was the best bet with the most value. Besides Trey Lance, started at 51, he's at 25-1. But I think like 10-1, like Justin Herbert's gonna probably be in top 5 MVP conversation. Like Trey Lance needs to do a lot for that to happen. So I thought that was if you're gonna make that, Cooper Kupp, Offensive Player of the Year, 10-1. He gets the touches, he gets open. He's gonna be in the final. And then I really liked Bosa at plus 800. Because I think like Garrett, Watt, and Aaron Donald have already won the award. Bosa hasn't had a year less than like 13 sacks. He's only played 2 seasons. Last year he had 15.5 sacks, and he tore his ACL the year before. and he had 21 tackles for losses. Like, and he's playing on a deep offensive line. So it's like you can't really depend on double teaming Nick Bosa all the time. So I thought at plus 800, that's a decent bet.
I like that.
That's a good take, man. Brian, can you tell me what Russell Wilson is?
Oh, his
Is that
odds
on there? Yeah.
Let me tell you.
While you're looking that up, let me throw one in here real quick. Christian McCaffrey, 9-1 to win comeback player of the year. If he can stay healthy, it's literally a bet. If he can stay healthy, he's going to be the best running back in football. There's no doubt about it. He's going to put up better stats than anybody in football, the running back position, if he's healthy. And plus 900 to win comeback player of the year. Not funny, but weirdly enough, the favorite is Brian Robinson.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting.
1400.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if I had, like I said, going back to the team of destiny, if I was going to take an MVP, I'd sprinkle a little bit of money, a little Salt Bay on Russell Wilson. I mean, if they're going to win that division, he would have to be doing something incredible, right? He'd be having to beat, obviously, the Chargers or be super competitive with the Chargers, the Chiefs, and the Raiders. It's like you'd have to have a magical year, and he'd obviously be taken to the playoffs when they haven't really. When was the last time the Denver made the? It's been a couple of years, yeah.
Denver's made the playoffs.
Yeah, Super Bowl, right?
I think 2016, 2014, 2015.
Yeah, with Peyton, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I mean, you're looking at that.
Rigged Super Bowl.
If he did see, I don't want to go there, right?
Loki, I was just in Denver for a bachelor party. The Uber driver was telling me all about Denver. John Elway's like a giant dick. He runs the city of Denver.
I've heard the exact same things. I got a few buddies from Denver. I've never heard one good thing about John Elway.
He like gets fucked up and then like gets. I mean, that's something else entirely. I forget what it was, but like, I hear, I believe that people didn't believe that Brian Flores story about John Elway like partying the night before and then coming in late and like he could tell that they were almost still drunk. And then and I was like, hey man, that's hard to prove, but I'm Team Flo. And he was like, and then when the Uber driver told me, I was like, fuck, this dude is supposed to be an asshole.
Yeah, I believe that 100%.
My buddy's reasoning, one of my buddy's reasonings is John. He was like, I think he was like 9 or 10. John Elway said no to him getting an autograph, and that's just he's like, yeah, he's a dick. Like
such a dick move, bro. That's such a dick move, bro.
I just remember something else. He owns all the dealerships in Denver. There's not allowed to be another, like, there's could be like a Toyota of Orange or a Russell Westbrook like Toyota, whatever the fuck. There is not allowed to be like, or people don't buy those cars, or somebody was telling me like, hey, it's only John Elway that sells cars around here. And then like I don't know, his girlfriend's a pain in the ass too, his side piece.
Dude, could you imagine that conversation? It's like, there's only one man that pushes cars around here. It's John Elway.
It's John Elway.
You're like, what?
You seen the drive, pal?
Oh man,
you drive in this car.
Yeah.
Real quick, last like whatever bet. Bears 12-1 be the worst team in football. That's almost a full unit one. I love that one. 12-1 makes no sense to me. Like, I know they're thinking it's going to be the Falcons or the Texans. Like, it just makes no sense to me. So give me Bears 12-1. You guys ready to do week 1?
Let's do it.
100%.
All right. Let's start off Thursday night game. You'll be listening to this Thursday morning. Hopefully, maybe you'll be listening it after the game on Friday morning, but this podcast will be released Thursday morning before the NFL season starts. Buffalo is currently -2.5 at the Los Angeles Rams. The over under is 52. Anything in this game for you guys? Because you have to play something. You have to.
Yeah.
You're required to by law. And one thing I'm required to by law to do after I have to do Stephon Diggs' first touchdown.
Ooh, I kind of love that. The only thing I have with the Rams this week, guys.
Stephon Diggs' first touchdown. Just,
okay.
First touchdown.
Scout's honor play.
That's tradition right there from us. The only thing I have on this one is actually a 1-unit teaser that involves the Rams plus. I think it's now going to be +8 instead of +9. I got a +9. It's a 6.5-point teaser. Getting Rams +8, I guess what it would be now, and then Ravens -0.5.
No, it'd be 9.
Is it still 9? Okay. So Rams +9, and then Ravens -0.5 point against the Los Jets. So that's the only thing I have with the Rams involved in a play.
God damn, man, I wish I had that discipline. I'm going to be on this game. I'm so undisciplined that I may be on this game and parlay it with the over, and then have an over, have a total bet, and then also I just have like a spread bet. Like I may be on this game in 3 different ways, all kind of the same bet. So like that's I know that going in. We talked about it, like, are they hungry or are they impatient in the sense that they want to get to the playoffs already? I don't know. I don't think we'll know until it happens. So it kind of just comes down to like, hey, a home dog. Like the Rams are at the Rams are at home. They're celebrating the Super Bowl. I don't know which way to go in this game. Like I don't have a feel for it. I don't have a feel for the point total. Like I don't have a feel at all. And part of me is like my dumb gambler brain is saying like, hey, home dog, but I know that that's been proven to just be kind of not exactly that. So I don't know. I could be swayed though. Somebody tell me to pick something so I can pick it.
I'm gonna go. I'm going. Golly, because I know I'm gonna flip flop all day, and I'm just gonna be like sitting on the toilet, just being like, you know what, Bills -2.5, lock it in. That's what it just, you're gonna be sitting there scrolling the odds, and you're like, nah, I don't know. You're going back and forth, like you mentioned, home dog, opening night, banner night. I'm going Bills -2.5.
How good do you feel though with Rams +9, bro? How good would you feel with Rams with 9 points at home? You don't feel good with Rams with 9 points at home?
I don't know, dude.
Come on.
The Bills have the ability to blow out anybody.
Of course, yeah, of course.
But the Rams, they're still, Jalen Ramsey is going to be on Stephon Diggs.
Gabe Davis, dude. We saw what he's capable of.
No, for sure. No,
yeah.
For sure. Like,
no, but I mean, like, I'm not going to say it. Like, I think Rams +9 is a great tease. And guess what? I'll probably do it. I mean, how could you not do it?
I do genuinely think that the NFL's trying to make it as difficult as possible to gamble on. I don't know.
For sure.
Like
they always have.
Fucking so difficult. Like -2.5, and it's Bills Rams. Like game 1, like it's awesome. I love it. There's people who are just gonna take the over and root for points. I think that's a fun bet, but it's like a kind of like, I don't know. I think it's kind of like also like a cop out.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think like, hey, I'm not in this to, I'm not in this to be a millionaire. So I'm in this to have fun. So I might take that. Fuck the Rams. I'm taking the Bills -2.5. I don't know why.
There we go.
But I'm doing
there we go.
I like it. So officially, you guys are on the Bills.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have
officially
the
on here. I still might tease the Rams. Like I might just like middle that thing, just hope for a close game kind of thing. Like
true.
Like this game could just be won by a field goal.
Carter,
let me see here. Yeah.
Can you clip that what I just did and just send it to me just for personal reasons when I said fuck the Rams, and I'll just use that as a meme for all my friends.
100%.
I love it.
100%. I'll send it to you late tonight. Let me see here. And honestly, I'll probably just go where the sharps are going. What like throughout this first week, like because I feel like I'm dumb, so I know I am dumb, and so all right, let's just move on to the games. 1 o'clock games. First one, Ravens at the Jets. Let's see here. Ravens are -7.5. Over under is 44.5. I kind of like the Jets. The Ravens seem too easy.
This is on my card. I got Jets +7. 7 points is too many points.
It's a lot of points. Too many points.
Too many points game 1. It's week 1.
Joe Flacco revenge.
Let me argue something with you boys. Let me argue something with you guys, okay? What about a 1 unit? Because this is what I have right now. 1 unit Ravens first half -4.
They could come out slow though.
The reason I say it is because I'm with you. 7 is too much to bet the full game because I do think they keep it close. But with so many young pieces on the Jets, this is going to be a dysfunctional mess that's going to take at least half the first game to even understand how to play together. I just don't see it. I would take a team that's much more cohesive and a quarterback that knows, like, obviously you're going to have Joe Flacco on the other side, which is chill. He's a super veteran, knows what he's doing. But I kind of love the first half -4, taking that and not taking the full game score, because you're right, 7 points is a lot, and I think the Jets can keep it close. But I do think they're going to go down early, because they were one of the, statistically, and I know this was Zach Wilson and not Joe Flacco, they were one of the worst teams in the NFL, not the worst, in first quarter scoring last year. They were awful. So I kind of love the first one unit on Ravens first half -4. Just throwing that out there.
That's a great play.
Just throwing that out there, boys.
That is so good, because I do think the Jets will keep it close, and by the end of the game, they're for sure going to be within. Oh fuck, I shouldn't have said that. Potentially, they're for sure going to be within 7 points.
I love it.
I'm looking at this game. The total, complete stay away. The money on it's 50-50 down the drain, like straight up. Yeah, I'm going Jets plus 7.5. The thing is, I don't want to go Ravens first half -4 and then cheer for the Jets plus 7.5, because then you're in this weird like I feel like you got to go one way or the other. Like, I don't hate either side, but like you got to go one way or the other.
See,
I'm with you.
I don't think you do.
Are you going to go both?
I know you do, right? I know
Brian. Remember last year we did this podcast? And you said I'm going to bet on every single game.
Do it every year. Thrill of a lifetime.
I love it.
You're telling me, you know what? Let's move on to that. Let's move on to another game. You're telling me you're going to bet on the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Washington Commanders. Commanders -2.5 over under 44. That is the worst game of all time.
That's true. There's some games that are doo-doo. I personally that like games that like I wish, like if I just have the discipline, right? If I just have the discipline, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I really I'm like, okay, I think that this is a bet that I love. This is a bet that's something that I think could be a winner. And then there's 6, 7, 8. 8 bets in total where I'm like, there's 3 more that I like, but I wouldn't pull the trigger. I'd only pull it if I had like extra funds to like have fun with it. So there's only, to your point, like I want to do it, but I don't know if I will. Or maybe I'll do a parlay and that'll count.
Mm-hmm. But listen, Commanders, anything in this game? If you don't, we don't have to say anything in this one.
I have nothing on that. No.
Okay, good.
How about we just, because I do you have your play? Do you know what? Because like I know what I'm going after, and I can just tell.
Yeah, roll this, Brian. Roll with it. Let's hear it.
Does that work?
Yeah. Let's just do that.
All right. So I got 49ers Bears over 41. The reason I have 49ers Bears over 41 is because again, like this team is, when they score, they're going to do it quickly and in chunks. So that gives an advantage. I think that's an advantage to the over. There's going to be a lot more possessions. Trey Lance is going to look to throw deep. Justin Fields is going to look to throw deep. And I think 41 is, that's not 46. So I think that hits.
Do you think the Bears can score over 14 points?
Bro, defensive touchdowns. This game screams defensive touchdowns to me.
Defensive
touchdowns.
True. And I think
like pick sixes.
They don't need to go over 14, right? Like the Niners are a 7-point favorite. Like I would not bet on that, but like they're a 7-point favorite. So I think that I think that has a decent shot. I love over 41.
The Niners are going to be teased to death this week. The Niners, the Ravens, the Colts, and then
the Niners and the tease too.
And then who's the other like 6.5 favorite? Is that it?
The Texans are 7.
What you exactly said, Carter? That's
the Bengals. These teams are going to get teased to death, and one of these teams is going to blow it. What, like out of those 3 between like Ravens, Jets, Niners, Bears, Colts, Texans, one of those teams is going to lose outright. It just always happens. Every week one, it happens.
I feel like it's going to be the Ravens.
I think it could be
in the second half of the second half, not the first half. I love it.
Not in the first half, in the second half.
Exactly. Or exactly.
There's somebody who listened to my take on the Jets about covering in the first and then covering it, or the Ravens covering in the first and then covering in the second, and they just thought like, man, that guy's an asshole. What a fucking that guy's such an asshole.
I love it.
Grant, you have a play? Give me a play.
Yeah, well, if we're talking about Niners, that I do have their, like you mentioned, their classic teaser for me this week. So the two teasers I have is the one I mentioned before with the Ravens and shoot, I lost them. Where'd they go? Oh, the Rams and the Ravens, right? So I already said that one. And then the other one is the Niners minus half a point and the Colts minus half a point. I love that one, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That's almost a 2-unit play for me. Just because, like I said, those two
Does
teams.
it seem too easy? Does it seem too easy?
That's the problem. It does seem too easy, but I don't know how I can't. Like, that just seems like really sound bet to me. Like, I won't be mad if I lose that play. That's all it is for me. When it comes down to playing a play,
You want to be on the right side.
I just can't. I even if I lose, I'm like, bro, I lost, but I'm not mad at myself for betting it. Like, that's how I just have to feel. As long as I'm happy and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, it sucks, it lost, but like, I'm at least like happy that I made that play. So I kind of love that one. So yeah, the Niners minus half a point. And the Colts minus half a point is one of my favorite teasers for the week. That's my other one I have.
I'm the opposite of Grant. When the days will go by and I'll think like, what if I won that bet? What if so and so did that? What, we were so close. That's the way
I'm
right.
not like I'm saying like I'm not pissed like when I missed a bet. I'm just saying like I can live with the fact that I'd lose that bet if it lost. If that makes sense.
Sure. No, I'm just saying like in general, like I'll be taking piss and then I'll be like, Jimmy didn't throw that pick.
100%.
How would that have looked?
I think we all think like that for sure.
I'm gonna go with a home division dog. Give me the Vikings money line.
Ooh.
Give me the Vikings money line over the Packers. I just like this Vikings team more than the Packers. I think the Packers have a lot to work through. I think the Packers are ultimately going to be good. They're going to make the playoffs and all that. But they have a lot to work through, a lot of chemistry to take care of with their receivers. Give me the Vikings money line at home versus the Packers. And you know what? Let's just get this out of the way. Panthers money line. Who are you kidding? You're acting like I'm not going to take the Panthers money line. Also, quick note about the Panthers. Awful weather coming in Carolina. Bunch of rain coming in Carolina. Over under 42. That's what makes this game weird. Because like if Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt start running a ton, like is that it? I kind of like the under on that one, but 42 is not that many points.
Yeah, that's nothing crazy.
So, but yeah, give me Panthers money line. It's
That's
minus 120. Baker Mayfield revenge game. And the other thing is Christian McCaffrey being healthy week 1. Christian McCaffrey in a game can completely change everything. He is the best running back when he is playing. There's no doubt about it. He is so much of a threat. He is an automatic 7 yards. It's out of control how good he is. So give me the Panthers money line, and I'm delusional.
What else you got, Brian?
I got Philly -4. I know it's the Lions, and we've talked about how scary and competitive they are. But I also and I know it's like I know the number, but to me, I think Jared Goff's still a quarterback at the end of the day, and Philly's offensive line and defensive line are really good. I do like the under at 48.5. I think it's a great under. I think I'm actually gonna jump on that as well. I think, but -4. All things considered, I trust this Philadelphia Eagles team to beat the Lions, by over 4 points.
I'm on the opposite side.
I'll say I'm with you, Brian, on the fact that they're gonna win, but I feel like they're gonna keep it close. That's a classic Lions, bro. I feel
it's at the Lions. Week 1
makes a difference. That 4 it kills me, bro.
This is all I'll say though. Wait, so go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
The only thing I'll say is this team, I think is going to do the right thing by trying to win the game. And so they're going to try to win the game. But winning the games involves throwing the ball, which means Jared Goff has to win you the game. They're going to keep it close. They have to win the game. Or they have to throw the ball to do that. And I think you've got the right guys to get sacks, to be in a position where Eagles can, get a touchdown late, or I feel like Detroit can keep it close. But after a while, I think Jared Goff is just not good enough to lead this team to victory over a defense that is this good.
Yeah,
but
I mean that makes sense.
At the same time, all of that makes sense. But does -4 for the Eagles make sense? Shouldn't this be -6? And I'm looking on here. I don't mean to deter you. I'm already on the Lions. I got Lions +4 already locked in. And I'll tell you what, it just looked like a rat line to me. That's all it was.
Trap.
They're home. It's a trap line. Sure. And because
it definitely
all these Eagles fans are, and not even just Eagles fans, all these people are just so high on the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're going to be ready. Like, oh my gosh, they're only -4 against the Lions. That's free money. Like Vegas is begging you to take the Eagles, you to take the Eagles.
That's a great point.
And also, sharp money is on the Lions.
Well, sometimes sharp money is just fucking contrarian for contrarian's sake. It feels.
It is, and especially week one.
That's such a good point. Oh, that's such a good point.
It's like sometimes it's like, well, what if Detroit covers? Yeah, the fucking gold chains and shit.
Exactly.
I ran into a sharp at Circa one time. Guy was fucking so gross, dude. Just like chains, hair all over his body, like during March Madness. Just he was a funny individual, like bald but like had hair everywhere, was talking to girls. It's such a character, man.
Yep.
Grant, give me a play.
Okay. Again, going back to the well, man, I sound like a broken record out here, but 1 unit on Broncos -6.5. Like I said, I'm kind of head, feet first, I guess you could say, on this Broncos team. I believe in the fact that the market is not on the money yet with this Broncos team. So I got a unit going on Broncos -6.5. Not too much on explanation other than the fact, like, I just trust Russell Wilson, this team, to be able to, like, to ball out. We'll see.
Let me look here. Trying to look through my plays real quick. I'm gonna go Packers Vikings over 47. That's gonna be a hard one to win, but I like over 47. I think both teams score enough. And I had one more. Also, did you do Colts Niners tees?
Yes, I did.
I'm on that as well. I was looking through my plays. Looks like I already locked it in. I have Colts -1 and Niners -1 on a tease.
But Carter, yeah, I got you. I'm with you.
I'm not doing the Ravens on a tease though.
I got you.
But
so
yeah,
we're in agreement that we like that one.
Falcons +5.5 is a weird line. Someone talk me out of the Falcons.
That's against the Saints, yeah?
Yeah, talk me out of the Falcons, please. Because I will take the Falcons.
I have a unit on the Saints on that one. Jameis Winston, baby. Jameis Winston come out to her like we talked about with Brian yesterday.
Home division dog +5.5. It feels like if people are this high on the Saints, why isn't this one of those 7.5 lines that need to be teased down?
It's bro. Here's the thing with the Falcons. Like, I would love to take the Falcons on this. The Falcons are going to take some time. They don't have an identity right now. They literally do not have an identity as a team. New head coach, crazy amount of new personnel. You don't have the leader in your locker room with Matty Ice anymore. Like, this is almost a 2-unit play for me with the Saints -5.5. Like, legitimately, I love this Saints play of -5.5. I don't think you can take the Falcons here. I really don't.
I don't see how you can be so confident about Jameis Winston. Like, I love Jameis Winston. I love the thought of Jameis Winston. How can you be so confident that Jameis Winston is good? Like, I understand the bet is that overall outside of Jameis Winston that the Saints are just flat out better than the Falcons. 5.5 is a lot in the NFL.
No, 100% it is. And that's what I'm saying. The hook there, the 5.5 is like interesting to me, but I definitely, like I said, what I like about this is I'm betting on a more complete finished product versus a product that's very unproven and we don't even know what that looks like. So it's like, am I going to take a finished product for 5.5 points? For sure. Give me that all day. Like, I don't even care what the teams are, but like, I trust the fact that this team can take care of a Falcons team that's dysfunctional as of right now at 5.5 points. Like you said, I know it's a lot in the NFL, but I just see, like I said, it's only a unit, so it's not like crazy, but like that is one of my plays this week.
It also feels like the Saints believe that they have unfinished business. If Jameis Winston didn't go down, that, you know what I mean? Like, I haven't heard much coming out of Saints camp. All I know is that the Saints feel like they could have contended for a Super Bowl for 3 years now and longer, and the Falcons just like stink. So I think it also comes down to, hey, Marcus Mariota has to prove it against that team that gets pressure. And, you know, like you got a rookie in Drake London and you got Kyle Pitts for sure. But I just don't know. Like I don't know. I mean, I think that's why it's 5. I think it's so big. I think that's why it's 5. It's because it's
there you go. That's how you talk me out of it. That's why it's 5.
Yeah.
That's why it's 5. That's one of my plays though. I like that.
I have a gross play. It's not official, but it's a lean. Giants plus 5.5 because that's how much I hate this Tennessee team.
Ooh.
I couldn't take that play. I can't take that play.
I hate this Tennessee team, bro. And I hate the Giants, but Tennessee should not be favored by 5.5 in a lot of games this year.
The Giants are that team that for sure cover like those weird spreads too, but I just don't know. I could take this either side, bro.
And shout out our guy Dylan. He'll be writing on Action Network on the game. He's doing the betting preview for that.
Nice.
So, all right, we need to make a parlay, and then we'll get out of here.
All right.
Ooh, after we trash parlays for 10 years, I like it.
We got to do. Hey! We did the college football parlay. Arkansas
True.
minus 6.5 hit.
That's true. My section hit, baby. I love it.
1 out of 4 hit, dude.
Do we feel comfortable with the 49ers Bears over 41?
It's 40.5 now.
What's up?
Even better.
It's 40.5 now.
It's 40.5 now?
And it's at minus 105. So it might even go down to 40.
If you guys aren't comfortable, what about
what if we like it's not as fun, but what if we just did a little 3-team teaser?
I'm down to do a teaser.
Okay. I kind of like that.
You know, I like getting teased, dude. I'm not afraid to get teased.
I like it. It would be interesting. What would be the parlay though? So that would be your Brian. That's your play.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be your play. What would be yours, Carter? I just kind of want to hear what it would be.
I don't know, man. Because like,
what screams the best one?
What screams I don't know why. Like my heart and my mind just keep gravitating towards Lions plus 4, but I could not put it on the parlay because they're on at the opposite side, so I can't do it. Honestly, Vikings money line.
Okay, that's a fun one. Yeah, I like that. And mine would be the Raven. I mean, I guess you're on the Jets
Saints?
full game. It would either be the Ravens first half minus 4, or it would be the Saints minus 5.5. Yeah, that'd be
all
the
right.
one.
So what if we just make that Ravens minus 4 first half, Vikings money line, and then what was yours, Brian?
The Niners over.
Oh, over, yeah, over.
Okay, so let's do that. Over 40.5 for Niners Bears, first half Ravens minus 4, and then Vikings money line, and then a teaser. I just think it doesn't have to be a 3-team teaser. I think Colts Niners. Just don't overthink it. Just tease it. Just tease it. Win your money. Win your money.
I love that play.
That's the mortal lock of the week. Is that teaser?
I love it.
I kind of love that. Yeah, I do love that play.
All right. Anything else?
The fact that we love that play all collectively is not great, but I do love that play.
It's never great to agree.
I know. It's never great.
Never great to agree.
It's okay. It's okay.
That's why Lions plus 4 might be the best bet of the weekend.
Yeah, it might be.
30-unit play.
You're kind of convincing me out of Philly minus 4. So if you want to throw one, I'm just saying. I'm not opposed.
All right. You guys got anything else?
That is it.
All right, we're back, dude. We got football. Long podcast. If you've made it to the end, congratulations. We are putting this all into we're putting it all into different clips. Every division, every week one, all the week 1 lines, all that's going to be in different clips throughout, but it will be all put in one episode as well. So we'll separate that. Just too much at one time. This is like a 2-hour podcast. This is like 2 hours.
This is a marathon podcast. I'm impressed.
There's a marathon. We had to do back-to-back nights. But all right, cool. That's it. Check out cartercast.com. Real quick, Brian, are you doing a podcast again?
I don't know. I'm going to try to figure out a way to do content. It depends. Like right now, I'm not working at the NFL Network, so I'm able to talk about gambling. And it all depends on, what it is. Cause I love talking about gambling. So who knows? As of right now, the plan is to do content on some level, just for the fun, just for the love of the game. Just like Michael Jordan did it, just for the love of the game.
Love it.
There we go.
Oh,
I know
bro.
that one Niners fan that was like, you have 10,000 tweets or whatever. And he's like, bro, shut up.
Oh, that was crazy when he screenshotted and he was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
bro, it said
Look at
rush
this
hour
B-Val
expert
fella.
and then producing at the NFL Network. Dog, how is that a flex?
Yeah.
I have a good job. How is that a flex?
Bro, he mentioned that you didn't have Tyreek Hill on your podcast, though, so that's what you got to get fixed on. That's it. That's pretty much the.
But yeah, that shit was so funny, and he deleted. I was like, dog, like it's like if anything, you're shouting me out. That's hard to get into the place that I got into.
Exactly.
You're like saying because I tweeted 50. Dude, I retweet all the time. Yeah,
Whatever.
Twitter.
Whatever, man. But all right, make sure to check out cartercast.com. Go on the YouTube page. We'll have a zillion clips coming on there, a zillion articles coming out, win totals. I mean, the TikTok, the Instagram, all that, just a zillion clips coming from this podcast alone. I mean, what a podcast. So thank you, boys. We did it.
This was fun. Thank you.
Yeah,
It
we'll
was
do
fun.
it again very, very soon. And yeah, we'll see you all next time. Bye.